Hope you guys are doing great. My wife made me like an early breakfast sandwich from Costco. Costco has everything, man. I'm not even sponsored by them yet. I hope it'd be cool because I kind of live close to the headquarters of Costco, but that one's for free. They just have everything. It's great. And I got my morning coffee. So I have my morning coffee and my morning caffeine. So I'm ready to go. Today's going to be high energy. Maybe I'm going to start freaking out because I have too much caffeine in me. Who knows? What up, Arthur? How you doing? Happy American Day? Yes. Happy birthday, America. July 4th. Yay, America. What up, Kendrick? How you doing? Momo. KQ2. What up, man? All right. So today we're going to do China regionals. They finished their LCQ like a few hours ago. And so we can kind of watch that. So let me... I feel like this is a little too high. Let me move it down a little bit. So we have that. We can do some scrims and spectated. I mean, I feel like people do want to watch scrims, but it's good to get some. I mean, China tournament's happening like literally, like at it just finished a couple hours ago, so I feel like it's fresh. And if they're still going scrims after I finish CN regionals, we can hop on board with that. It's gonna take a few hours though. So we'll see. Wage and Robin are actually playing in scrims right now, so you can go ahead and check that out if you guys want. But for now, we'll watch some CN regionals and keep it chill. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Alrighty, here we go. So what do we have here? This is all their media that they shot, by the way. All right, so CN, who do they have today? Who do they have today as a warm up? Do you see this? You see this stage? Check this out. Check this out. Holy, it's kind of loud. Damn. Syndicate hat, Cypher, Golden Ox. I'm not sure exactly what the trade is. Oh, that's Street Demon. They going crazy. CN production. Bitrate can't even handle. Let me see if I can increase my quality here. 1080p.
Hello， 各位现场以及屏幕前的各位医师们，大家下午好！欢迎大家来到2025 TOC 第11届英雄联盟云顶之弈公开赛全国总决赛半决赛。
Pretty hype. So China, this is the LCQ, which I believe is a lot of people's last chance to qualify for the finals. I think it's 2 spots, 2 or 4 spots. I think it might be 4 spots. It's like the losers bracket of the semis. So the way the semis worked was that 2 people would advance from each group. And then the 4 middle people, 3 through 6, go to the losers bracket. And then that happens twice. So these are the people who did not win their semifinal groups. And then 7 and 8 you're eliminated. Which is kind of nice. It's kind of nice. I'll pull my pen here. Friend, do you update the guide section of TNT Academy often? Whenever we can. It's actually like a lot of work. And so we didn't update it as frequently as we want to. We updated like once every couple weeks to a month. And that's not fast enough. So I think what we're gonna do is I think we're hiring a writer for next sets to just like go over all that stuff. This is Lishao. Lishao is actually one of the most accomplished CN players. He won EWC. He's gone to regionals, finals many times. Very, very accomplished at this point. This is Dive. He's like newer competitor, but he's actually been pretty impressive. The feud that I've seen of him, he's done pretty well. I like that they have their Myers-Briggs personality types. Higher Solus. That is a person that we're talking to. Oh, this is Xunge. Set 7 world champion. This guy got blacklisted by China. They actually don't they scrub him from all the history books. They mosaic him out because he account shared and he's not part of any media official for like anything. So, yeah, they literally try to scrub him from the history books, which is kind of messed up. Oh, man. Okay, this is I call him like Chief A or whatever, but like his name is YGQF. He's a long-time competitor as well, pretty established. Competing since set 7 in regionals. This is Snowy. Snowy's been a long-time competitor as well. He's played well in Super Server. He's a teammate of 60-second Xunge on Alpha Gaming. And then it's my man, my CN number 1. This is Flancy. I like the way he plays. This guy when he plays TFT has some major aura. Second at Worlds in set 8. Also has really good English, by the way. This is YiWai. Not really familiar with him. He's kind of a newer player, so, or at least he's not that accomplished. So I don't know too much about him. So we have a couple underdogs, a couple established names, a couple long-time competitors who haven't put results, and some people who have won world championships. So it's good. They should blur him on stream, Xunge. Yeah, they should. I hope we do like some kind of intro at LAN. I hope that Worlds LAN in Dallas isn't just like the players just sitting there and then we're just like, you know. But I guess this is a full-on production. The fist bump. Oh god. Oh snap! The crowd also high-fived them. Hey, we're real esports now. Damn. That's actually kind of fire. What'd you think? Holy cow. And they're all facing outwards instead of inwards. Okay. Okay, we have HN and we have Huanmei as our commentators. They always do this setup in case you never watch a China regionals. They always have a host, a hostess, and then they have 2 pro players. This is Huanmei, set 5 world champion, HN. Just like incredibly popular, has made so many regionals, like regional finals, final lobbies. He's made like multiple. He's just really accomplished. He's also a dad, by the way. He's actually a father recently, and so I kind of cheer for him because I kind of need the dad TFT gamers to rise up. But he didn't make regionals this set, sadly. He didn't qualify. Dude, look at all these chibis, man. Chibi Oriana, Chibi Briar, Chibi Kale. I mean, these are actually the chibis we have, right? Format's pretty straightforward. So the way they talked about it was today 4 players are going to qualify 5 games, and it's first gets 9 points all the way down to 8th place, and then tomorrow, not tomorrow, but on July 6th, this is going to be the final lobbies of regionals, and the winner goes to the Titans Cup. Titans Crown, rather. 1 million RMB. Oh, there's also bounties. You get extra prize money for different achievements. This is a 3-star 5 cost. Am I understanding that correctly? Cypher cash out is 600 if I'm understanding this correctly. Also, I'm turning off card packs, by the way. Sorry about that. Anyways, good mix of competitors. Let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit. Man, CN production's so cool. Flancy. The CN have different little legends. They have more skins available to us. This caster hit 1,000 LP the second patch. Oh, the hostess? The lady in the center? That's really impressive. That's higher than me. I think my peak this set was like 950 or something like that. I think actually I did get the 1K, but. All right, here we go. 2-star shops.
两位觉得说有没有可能选手先去占坑，把这个低费给占住？
哦，这个版本其实应该是比较偏低费的版本吧。
In America, we celebrate our account shares. That is true. That is true.
三费的指示
是的，
以及现在比较流行的狗分这种卡牌，他们训练赛其实很多。
对。
All right, they even got their heart rate 96, 96 as the base.
哎呦，这直接来了。
Dude, if it's 96, I mean, what's my heart rate right now? I can actually check.
是的。
My heart rate right now is 86.
刚说完这边就有点像大剑开。
哦，小丑。
115.
蒙牛呢？
138. Oh my god. I still feel like they juiced the numbers. 140, dude, it's stage 1. Relax, man. Relax. It's stage 1. Holy cow, this guy's about to die. He can make 10 if he wants right here.
迅哥也是备战了很久养龙之后。
He just has to hold Graves. Probably hold on to Graves Ross combo though. 147, dude. This guy hits 1 Graves and it's going crazy.
良心的一个波比。
Holy cow.
刚刚目前
Like it makes me think that like it's not broken because some people have normal heart rates, right? Like at 90 is fine. But this dude is stressed. Oh my goodness. 150.
基本上都看后面海克斯吧。
是的。
You don't see it, but he's running a marathon on the treadmill underneath the table. You know, I would love to see the difference in heart rate between someone like Weijin versus someone like Setsuko versus someone like who's like a person that kind of like gets like Kurum. Kurum gets fired up all the time. Wow, they even have their heart rates like right here. 117, 125, 116, 128, 107.
而且2星乘8
刷了，
哦没选。
Double silver. Generally speaking, double silver is preferred. This is a Wolf Unchained player. Took marksman +1. Component buffet.
是的，而且他开摆也。
Flancy is ice cold. That's why he's a G.
勇敢去飞的故障商店。
是的。
Okay, Xunge's calming down a little bit. I like it. Pandora's bench.
那感觉
Wow, 4 golds and 4 silvers. Replication, shop glitch, marksman +1.
各位直接定向一手枪转了。同时一会儿去看一下 Flancy 那边反响拿的是什么装备。
Bench plus AFK for sure. Well, the interesting thing about bench and AFK is you can't really utilize bench to its full potential at all.
是。
或者是3星位的6重装上人口。
They're showing Xunge's stats on the left.
他是拉人口的，他应该是想要走一个连胜。
对对对。
His top 4 rate is 50%. His win rate's 70. So he actually goes first a lot, but his top 4 rate's pretty low, relatively speaking.
他应该是想要走一个连胜。
对对对。
His career earnings is really high though.
对他不一定会去追一个3星。
小七这边直接蓝 buff 是合起来了。
It's higher because they're not using the Imperial system for measuring heart rate. Oh, I see, I see. You know what? My peanut-sized American brain can't comprehend anything that isn't listed in feet. So that makes sense.
不是。
发牌员在干什么？发牌员？
那不至于，迅哥肯定跑呀。
迅哥有备战型，确实可以跑。
TFT has now confirmed workout. It actually is though. Have you read those reports where back in the day? Actually, I'm not sure if how old that report is, but someone said like there's like chess players who lose 15 pounds over the course of like a tournament because they just like concentrate so much and burn so much calorie, and they're like, you know, stressed, so they're not like eating like a lot, so they're just like lose a ton of weight. Because the tournaments last for a while. It's not like all in one day. It's like the tournaments last for a while. And so they're just like, they're just sitting there all day thinking, stressed, burning a ton of calories. Isn't 50% decent, or what's a good top 4 rate for competitive? For reference, I believe Dissoap, Setsuko, and Wei competitive average is like 60 something percent, 65%. Dissoap on his winning set, last set in set 13. Wow, I just keep saying the word set. Dissoap in set 13, his AVP, I mean, I can pull it up. It was unreal.
变出来都是变的，不能是单核阵容。比如说直视，男枪这种就很明显的是个单核阵容。
排除了直视吗？
就这么一说嘛。
Holy cow, it's even crazier than I remember it. Dissoap set 13 was 3.04 AVP, 84% top 4 rate, and a 24% win rate. Oh my god. I don't even remember. I can't. That is mind blowing to me. Unbelievable. So yeah, 50% is not very high. But that's his career stats though. That's his career stats. I think Gangly might have career. Oh god, dupe on the carousel. That's really powerful for the bench player. The Pandora's bench player is probably really happy about that. Let me see if I have Gangly's career stats. Player data. The only thing I have here is Gangly's like spreadsheet of like players AVP over time, like world stats. This is like their career AVP, but it's usually between like the 50s and the mid 60s is considered to be very good. Like Tidal has a 63% top 4 rate over his career, which is really good. Some people have 60, 67, but I think like in general, you would consider 50% to be like a kind of a weak player, 55 to 59 to be a good, like a strong player, and then like 60 to 65 is like elite. And even then, you can make small differences. You can see the small differences of like the last, like going from 50 to 55 is way easier than going from 60 to 65. It's all about relative. Is this 14.7? Yep. Do you think the increased production value of CN causes more viewership, or is it because of... Oh my... Dive has a 43% top 4 rate and a 21% first rate. Oh my god. Also, career prize earnings, 0. Bro, this guy just got cooked. They're trying to like show off his career stat. Oh man. Solo, how you doing? Alright. Can you guys hear the garbage truck outside? It's like really, really loud. It's garbage day. Marksman emblem. They're not playing on the Chinese client. They're playing on the Tournament Realm server, I believe. You don't hear it? Okay, good. It's really, really loud. This guy already has Morgana 3 at 2.6. Wow. Morgana 3 at 2.6. What's up, Frodan? Do you know what patch they're playing on? They're playing on this patch. They're playing on this current patch. It's actually so bad if they're not playing on the current patch, because that would just mean they're really far behind for Worlds. I actually think that one thing China has suffered on, in my opinion, is that they play on old patches, which means that the shift over to the live patch puts them behind on a global level. They did this for a while, so like I do think that they're just regularly behind. Should probably enter patch notes in the bottom left. Yeah, but we already both know, Giraffe, that's not gonna stop people from asking. They're gonna still ask anyways. All right, you know what? New prediction on the line. How long until the next person asks what patch It is.
哦，迅哥其实当时已经两星蒙多2亿牛头，他留了一堆一费，玩着玩着。
How about less than 10 minutes? 11 to 29 minutes? Or 30 plus minutes?
看迅哥等会儿的装备怎么样了。
After the prediction, though. How long until what next you guys can bet some channel points. You guys are Gamba? No. We'll do a cooldown period. We'll do a cooldown period. Mort has a huge PB sign as overlay, and people ask, "Is this ranked?"
双赢，应该说又是银色。
带有节外生枝 ，Flancy 补了一手经济。
We have a couple people who are just throwing in a couple of soft points, yeah, into the mix. Yep. Thanks for the streams, Frodan. No problem, man. I'm inspiring. I mean, I'm just a guy that likes watching TFT. I'm nothing special. Wow, this guy rolled a 0, like true 0, level 5. Can't make gold. This guy, I mean, he's rolling to see if he can get the nitro to 3 stars, but holy cow, this is YiWai. 135 heart rate. Bro, this guy is going, his heart rate's going crazy. He just rolls to 0. The Gamba rush. No one else voted 30 plus. Let it just be me. Dude, you stand to gain hundreds of thousands of points if you're the only if you're the only person that gambles 30 plus. It's like the one person chose to split.
那有没有一种可能，白虎他给的是鬼畜或者那个法强战，养的是。
Okay, we got a tier on the cipher. Looks like he's gonna skip it. Guys, someone has to take a bullet for the team. We're about to lose 500,000 points. No, you can't work like that. I have to look at the chat history. If I see that you were here previously and you were chatting, then yeah, I can't, man. I'm not gonna let you guys game this like that. I noticed some of these players signed up for World Scrims already. Yeah, because they wanted to get practice for this. This is, you have to remember that this is like, even though it's like the LCQ, the correct terminology that we use is the losers bracket. Make it so if you vote, you can't be the person. Yes, of course. I literally see who voted, so don't worry. I see the names. All good. All right, so we have Big Duplicator, 3-star Silas. Someone's going Kog'Maw reroll. Lishao's going Kog'Maw reroll. And then we have Snowy. Thanks for the content, Frodan. I love seeing the chefs in the kitchen with commentary. You mean my commentary, right? Unless you're telling me to turn up the Chinese casters. Actually, a ton of one-cost reroll. We have Kog'Maw, we have Nitro, we have Morgana Bastions, and we have Gorilla. Ton of one-cost reroll so far. I mean, I do think that when I watched some of the scrims, there was like a lot of one-cost reroll that actually was doing okay if it got a good setup for it. Is that normal for CN one-cost reroll? I mean, they just generally like playing reroll comps aggressively if they can. China in general has a history of favoring aggressive reroll, like for tempo. Okay, blue buff, Gunblade, Morgana. Damn, this guy's board looks kind of strong. Just so much 3-star tempo right now. How many people have Pandora's Bench? I think only 1 or 2. I didn't see Didn't see much of that.
因为他只要过了小机
EU
这
with
段感觉
pressing
保
D
点
at
在
level 8 at
一个小时
Worlds.
这边也真不弱了，小鸡就是海克斯银色给的有点。
I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing 4 costs
小鸡
if
让装
the
备
4 cost
让海克斯了
meta can support it.
鸡差一张，
But I do think that like each region has their slight biases, and I think that China tends to bias a little bit more towards reroll. I think APAC biases itself a little bit towards reroll as well. NA tends to bias itself towards
有可能
like level 8.
勇敢去飞
Fast
的
9.
就看他下一波故障伤垫地的怎么样
'Cause。that's just the style that they prefer.
哦勇敢去飞10连败只是吃的
Okay, this guy is one off LeBlanc. Wow, he's one off LeBlanc 3 at 3-6 pre-level with a duplicator as well.
反正都是好值值奖励
So this should get him to like 290 for sure.
卡牌的换怪很精致哦到了
305.
看一下给什么。
And
最
then
好的节奏升级
what does he want? Radiant item?
差一点的话哎呦
Yeah.
节奏升级
Got the radiant item. This guy got the 4 cost. Wow, split screen, Cypher cash out. The production value. My God.
收的也是
My
很快
God.
该刷了
对，拉到7级。
这种独家知识感觉优势很大
Frodan would never.
三星妖姬，
I mean, I wish I could do
打
that.
得很顺啊。
哦戴夫已经是8级收了一波了嘛
You guys don't
做的
understand
不是很好
the level of production that goes into a simple TFT tournament.
收的其实算是一波
There are individual observers for each of these players whose job it is to sit on their POV, and then so they have like 8 extra PCs, and it counts like observing them, and then they have like another set of people operating different computers for like the graphics and the technical director switching, everything like that.
良心。
It's like a lot. It's a lot to just spectate a game of TFT.
勇敢去飞的质量其实他会玩的很夸张啊
You need like 20 PCs
完美节奏的
for the
姿势
like 8 for the
连
players,
带
for the
感觉
observers, and then for like all the other stuff.
光明凶刀因为妖姬删了所以光明凶刀更好
Can we blame Soju for NA and EU for wanting to fast 9? No. Soju actually, believe it or not, is
然后等个
is
法
like
包
not actually that biased of a player. The Soju tends to just play whatever his meta read is. If he thinks that like reroll is OP, he'll play reroll. If he thinks like fast 8 is OP, he'll play fast 8.
感觉可以稍微等。
His general like paradigm of how he approaches TFT in terms of competition is he'll play whatever is OP unless he's like super contested. Otherwise, he'll just figure out something out and try to play for
戴
placements.
夫也是选择
He plays a pretty simple game plan.
他在想，
It's rare for someone like Soju to have like a really nuanced like, okay,
出了还真
I'm gonna be setting up like these layers, different things. He just uses like,
金
金
色，
色
all right, what's the OP comp? GG.
戴夫在
带舞没有刷到，
有
Is that the case for
双排
44? Yeah, that's the same for 44 as well.
可惜。
选了一手双排，看一下给了一张
Guy got
兔子
Urgot and Zach in the bottom right. He got duo Q right here.
有个大尼可的局确实8级最初314倍可能性就高很多
没错
对他，只要出一波故障商店，哦，但是他要看一下外面，外面备战席，迅哥这边拿了一张，
戴夫这里的猪6张了，
Oh, Tazik.
不要，
Here we go. What patch are they playing on?
我
Man.
直接来个2星，然后你会捏3星，
哎，
不然这样的话，
I mean, correct. You guys got it. Less than 10 minutes.
玩得很大呀，第一把，
14.7,
哇带五
Tazik.
星
Welcome back,
还
man.
是
Good to see
赢
you.
了130的一个心率。戴夫这边是遇到了李少，
We made it 6 minutes. We made it 6 minutes. It was kind of
有个
close.
羊刀在身上啊，李少这个装备。
其实我一直好奇一件事就是这个恶性商店是不是以前天选之人的那个机制
Whoa, Exotech pulls Hollowbow MF.
4
Cook
张
it.
或者5张都是不会
Zeri MF. You know, I thought about whether or not Zeri can do it with MF this patch. They did buff MF independent of Dynamo and Syndicate, so she is a little bit better.
如果是按照
And
以前
the
天选之人
stats actually say that Zeri MF together is not
是不会出2星
terrible.
以前是为了防止你追3星，然后
But the logic behind what a lot of us believe in the West is that Jin can basically get a lot of what MF can do anyways at a cheaper rate, and you can go to 9.
对，
就外面但凡拿了一只猪的话，就有点伤。
But if you play Zeri MF
这边有没有不小心
and you just play like
哦，这边还
like the
可以追
stats aren't bad.
3星的
If you just literally put Zeri MF 5 Exotech, right, and you just like,
Snowy，什么
it's
意
just
思
that if you go like Zeri 7 Exotech,
潘多拉
it looks a little bit better, and you just like don't have MF. So it's
有
like
一个的局嘛
it's just one of those things where is it actually worth? Wait, what? What?
有点没看懂。
Oh, he's a Pandora's bench. Okay. So he took. Okay. Well, all right. Actually, he doesn't have that good of a front line, and his item setup is like awkward because it's split.
我没看懂史诺爷在玩什么。
Jin is a fraud? Jin's not a fraud. You take that back.
他的前排有点不
You
太
take
搭
that back.
现在估计
Jin's not a fraud.
没花多少钱，递了2张螃蟹就用把这个用了。
Jin
然后前排
is an honest, hardworking, blue collar,
应该是玩起来了，但玩着玩着他
stand up man just like you and me. Who are the suckers who guess longer than 10 minutes? I mean, I don't even think that's that bad of a bet. Maybe I should have done. Maybe I should have done it more granularly, like 1 to 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes.
他应该是玩4斗。
But I mean, it's yeah,
那边是南枪3了，打出了一
it's not.
4连败
It's definitely not a bad bet because we went like 6.5 minutes.
没有反的视角，不知道他为什么一直在输。
对，因为他下个海克斯也选择了一手天呀。
If Setsuko's allowed to play in his boxers, he would win the whole thing. It's true.
估计上的也没那么快。
Well, I think what you mean is only his boxers, because I'm pretty sure Setsuko is wearing boxers underneath his pants, so technically he is wearing his boxers.
哦，YY 这边
But I think you mean if he was allowed to compete in nothing but his boxers.
还有杨导没？
I mean, who knows? Do you think that he would get in trouble if he was at World's Land and then he just
而且
started derobing himself down to his boxers?
这种皇子是必须要扛住的。
Like, what's Riot gonna do? Ban him again?
滑得进去吗？大龙。
I mean, if he's like going dead last at Worlds, I'm down. If he's like dead last, he has nothing to lose.
哦，这个滑得有点差，
滑得准备大招上了，
就看他能不能平推了。
意外的质量好像暂时不够。
I remember that clip from where he took his pants down with his camera on. Yeah, I mean that was literally like last weekend. It's actually an emote now. It's called pants off.
3星加里奥了，勇敢续费这回还真的有点强。
对，因为
What's the name of your son?
而且
哦，YY 这里
My son's name is Levi, but
意外感。
I'm always hesitant when someone asks me, just out of the blue, with no context, because it makes me feel like they're trying to get into my security account. Like, what's my mother's maiden name? What city was my father born in?
是的，
And what was my favorite subject in high school? But yeah.
那就想看300、400是多什么样的了。
So that's the last of the questions I'll be fielding for you, Momo.
我也打出了一手5连败啊，2星的一个螃蟹。
To be fair, you shouldn't be answering that.
没有迅哥的视角了，好像活得很好。
I mean, I've said it many times already in the past, so like it's not like you can't find out about it.
后排装备输出量还是比较多
但
的。
是他的人口跟质量都补上来了。
对。这一战喜欢一费还是
Gorilla
自然的。
意外的压力好大呀。
有
Those are your security questions? Oh, I mean, they're like everyone's security
他果然是玩的
questions.
4斗但现在单靠
No, I'm just curious to know more about you. Yeah, sure. That's what they all say.
一个阵容就是外
That's
在
what they all say. So Snowy transitioned out of Zeri into Divinicore,
会见到4斗的一个
and he has a marksman emblem with no marksman on the
感
board.
受来形容，为什么这个
没有人要
He's trying to transition to Vanguard marksman. No, he's trying to transition. He's just trying to transition to Boombot.
史诺这个看着太难受，而他的
Okay, this guy cooked a little too hard, man. He's playing Urgot 2 marksman Senna. No Slayer, no marksman. 5 Divinicore, 3 Boombot.
其实我就觉得不如用一些
Oh, Zeri 2?
重装前排。
Oh.
虫子没有2星确实有点太弱了，而且没有前排。
I appreciate the effort to do something unique, but I feel like
也不是很高的质量。
嗯，对。
it's not very good. Okay, you got the Slayer in.
还是没有，
根本就没有虫子。
是不是被迅哥拿了个2？
I mean, Divinicore Urgot is a thing if you can get to itemized Vex and Urgot. He actually had like items for it, right? He had like oh my god.
射手当前排装，
那这边
好给鳄鱼。
Oh my god, what is this? His item distribution is crazy.
小七还在上9，
His item distribution is
拿9鳄
crazy.
鱼了。
There's so many times now when I see people do things and I'm just like, man, if you screenshot this and ask people to guess the rank, it would be a wild
咱们刚才有个大
a wild set of responses.
这一关对于 Snowy 来说，
带住了。
灵魂链接完美克制。
小齐主要在上9嘛，
是在
那血
滑。
多。
He had the ability. He actually has Bis. He had Bis Vex. He couldn't make Gunblade and everything like that. But then he would struggle to have frontline items. Cho'Gath too. That's big. So is Gragas. Okay.
然后拆一下装备，
李少那边是
Okay. EY is already dead.
再变。
What was EY playing?
偷偷的变，
再
拆一张。
偷，
Kog'Maw reroll
有没有及时发现啊？
in top 2 right now in HP.
哦，因为
That's
李少买了
wild.
重装，所以史努比不想玩重装了。
带
A lot of people consider Kog'Maw reroll to be very, very situational. You don't play it as very often. He must have died. He must have because it was triggered by Pandora's bench
哦，另外一边
and 2-star shops. That must be the condition for it.
是三星皇子了，应该是
2-star shops.
三星皇子应该是。
Yeah, that makes sense actually, because then you can hit so fast ahead of curve. I like
反正
that.
就是补不出水银很伤。
对，
That's smart. That's smart.
南枪没水银，感觉
Uh-oh.
其实
Our Senna is getting
而
collapsed
且南
on.
枪没有攻势来源，他很需要水银的攻势来源。
对，
啊，打这个都这么费劲吗？
Graves just has too much HP though.
南枪这一下，
哦，
Wait,
差点输了
actually, the Morgana drain?
活着的话
Oh my god, the Morgana drain?
哎，等会儿，
啊，
Oh, oh no, Flancy.
装
Flancy.
备确实有点。
Flancy has no heart rate. Oh, he's dead, you
这个
guys.
都没打过吗？
Perhaps it's a metaphor for what happens when you die in TFT.
现在外面
He doesn't even have Marksman in, but he does have the Marksman emblem effect. Remember Marksman's
那
emblem
边有个大
reduces
地
armor
这
for
个
every
这个
hit.
应该也是差一点点。
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if Marksman emblem on Urgot is actually
这个大
really
地图
good.
基本上用不出去了。
Let me see. Let me look at the
嗯，对的。
statistics,
除
shall
非
we?
是选秀拿一张，选秀拿一张。
Urgot, Marksman emblem.
他应该抽不出2星的六合子。
很难，感觉应该是很
Nope.
难的。
It's actually terrible in Urgot.
抽出来，看选秀能不能给他补一张吧。
两家备战西非都活得很好。
Yeah.
这个时候
Wow.
是不是也可以
Okay.
偷偷的追手三星火男？但是目前还没有看到迅哥的动向啊。
对，
迅哥在上
迅哥
九，哦
已经
9
9级。
他是应该是把钱
Oh,
花上去
wait.
然后也没有钱。
Actually, I
按
have
照我对迅哥的理解，他应该是不会拿第4张
I
的
have。to filter better. Yeah, it's still looking kind of
讲到
bad.
理由确实，你不上9感觉怪怪的。
但是这一把其实是可以的，因为外面斯维卡拿太
Yeah,
多
there
了
are very.
上9，他这个阵容是需要上。
Is it like if you have blue buff, it gets better? Let me see. Maybe.
哦，好，同时我们也是收
Ah, okay, we found it. We found it.
现场的及时的沟
We
通
found it. Okay. If Urgot has blue buff plus Marksman emblem actually looks pretty decent. If you look at the emblem, it's actually like pretty high up there in play it like in terms of delta. It's like basically if you value, I mean, it's still like low sample size, but it's like almost 2,000 games. So it's like if you, oh wait, oh I have to have it on Urgot.
对对对
对对对，
看的确实
那是
有点难受。
不是人用的？
Okay, never mind. It's less insane. You know what? I don't know then.
哦，
It doesn't look that good. All right. Either way, I think we can agree Snowy
也
overcooked.
希望
边防守，
希望 UI 后面也是心态稳重。
Are you playing today? Me? Am I playing in China
这里
regionals?
只差一张了。
Yeah, I'm right after this group.
在场
I'm
上要不要简单的小小的
I'm gonna head on
一下觉得
stage.
今天谁这一把能进决赛圈？
My plane leaves in an hour.
有个人在冒火吗？飞哥应该
飞哥
飞哥，
好，
怎么说？飞哥把你的连麦断了。
那就该
Is this a rewatch? Yeah, this basically finished like a couple hours ago.
很明确。
没问题。
飞哥
They started at like 2 in the morning or something like that, my time.
3星了呀，UI
是的
怎么看？
Actually, yeah, something like that, like 2 in the
应该
morning.
会有吧？
嗯，
行，
李少这个评议追出来的是不能认可的。
拭目以待
聊。评议
MF
对，拭目以待。
在我
Dude,
倒下了。
dive in 5th. This guy's top 4 rate is so low. It's like 40%.
感谢意外来接受我们的连线啊
He's never beating the allegations. Dive goes 5th.
加油
They showed his career stats. His career stats are like 42% win, top 4 rate, 21% win rate.
10张女坦现在这边
Meaning
拿
that this
7张
guy literally goes like first or bot 4.
迅哥呢？迅哥也是没有一点点的防守，先是完全在提升自己。
迅哥大力口用在谁身上了？猜一下。
火男，那只能
我觉得
是火男
是芬妮。
你觉
啊
芬妮？
对，不然迅哥当时为什么会有个3星芬妮？
不然备战席是用来
Okay, this guy has the gorilla setup. It's really good.
他的杰拉删了，他3星分你可能
Xunge
但是他的杰拉没删，
不是
我觉得他
他
Xunge top 4. You know, I kind of want Xunge to do well because I feel like
然后
he got screwed by the Chinese system.
我觉得因为那个时候已经
该说不说，这个是符合性格的。
I feel bad for him.
他确实是这种
I feel like he deserves better.
啊，同时李少这个
Mistreated.
女坦
He's also a pretty good player.
包括自己弟出
哦，
了，
出了。
Oh,
哇
8
好，
Leonas.
让你迅哥不防守。下一
Oh
个
my
打
god. Wait, he's gonna go for Leona 3. Lishao.
结束是吧？
哦，刚打完，给他躲过一下。那迅哥的决策是对的。
I would say that Lishao is one of the favorites of this group.
一家都打不过，
但是
上面的无敌
If you didn't hear my intro, he's one of the most accomplished CN players in recent time. His heart rate is 150.
李少确实极其的明智，发现外面有人在追的
He has
时
a
候
du- oh, you're right. He has the dupe from the carousel. Oh, he has it. He has Leona 3.
而且外面有个队伍帮他一直在看。
Wow, he's saving it just in case.
火力的那一家，
对，
他最先那个什么
Oh my god.
相当于就会吸引所有人的防守注意力
这。边在第一滴想省。
Is there a reason why he's like not using it? Maybe he's waiting for everyone to roll down.
挑战位置吧。
Maybe he's like being diabolical with it. He's like waiting for everyone to roll down
还是
first.
坚定
Oh, snap. Whoa, that's on the center of the stage. A 3-star Leona.
坚定之心。
Okay, okay.
是单顶了。
Wow. He
位也在
literally went reroll
这一
Leona.
注意卡车啊。
受害者第一个小七，
Booba. Come on, man. It's like isn't Leona like one of the lesser sexualized women in League of Legends?
两刀
Or am I
给
misremembering?
前排打。
She's wearing entire suit of armor.
很高。其实主要看小区和勇敢去飞他们正面交锋。
It was
他们
like
应该有
Booba.
1到2波正面交锋，这2波谁赢下来
Woman with
就是
hair.
本上大概率第一嘛。
大概率已经结束了，迅哥已经到了。
迅哥其实
那就
一定打不过勇敢去飞的，这不用想。这300层的直视差距加上阵容的那个差距，
但迅哥这波
Whatever, Ray. Oh, I didn't notice the heart rate. Yeah, they have all of them wear watches to have heart rate monitors. So someone's heart rate base just sitting down is like 130.
打李少，
对，
He just wins? I think so, yeah.
所以说
Where's your
小区也不可能在2波直接交锋
MBTI?
更低的血量。
没错。
迅哥是
So my MBTI, we can talk about it between the game. But you were either an introverted, extroverted.
莫甘娜也是补出了2胜的。
You're either intuition or sensory.
他不用
Oh wait,
我输勇敢去飞，我输
is that
少一点，我
correct?
也有可能是第二，因为小区
And then you're feeling versus perception.
那迅哥这边
And then your
只有一个
judgment
但
versus-
没问题，可以顺利赢下这一波。
Nope, that's not correct.
小区没赢的话，其实勇敢去飞大概率就可能是第二了。
Oh no, your intuition versus thinking.
勇敢去飞把李少带走了，
And then your feeling versus sensory, and then your like versus, or your judgment versus perception.
无敌职业，
哦，我
Something like that.
懂了，
三星日女的伤害打到了减伤的加里奥上，打不动。
是
对，而且妖姬和德莱
I am
清理掉，
哇，不过你看
E. I am considered to be extroverted,
对
which surprises a lot of people. I'm not sure why.
对
I'm
而且
intuition
这个加里奥根本
based,
倒不了
对对对，
and I even need an FP. I have an
这是我们
ENFP.
没有想到的结局啊！以为飞哥是包
That is
吃
my
但
type.
很强
那就是
但是
勇敢去
没有想到
飞一定
是包吃
吃。
对。
对，
Wait, he lost? Wait, I was missing that. Wait, what? How did he lose?
飞大概率血量优势嘛。不过如果迅哥这波赢不了小七的话，小七可能有血量优势，他不用。
They didn't even show it.
勇敢去飞我输少一点。小七没赢的话，其实
He just
勇敢
lost.
去飞大概率就可能是第二了。啊？
Is he
勇敢
dead?
去飞把李少带走了，
啊？
好像是。
啊，
What? They didn't even show it.
对，而且
Wow.
和德莱文都是
Cypher
这么
beat
下来
Leona. Oh, you know why? It's because LeBlanc fights.
这个后排的伤害
She does
有
not.
点夸张啊
She does not care about your solo frontline units.
对，而且是双
Oh
科技
my
强，这个加里奥可
god.
能一直倒不了。
That is insane. He hit Leona 3 and then lost to the Cypher. Dude, Cypher is so busted.
以为飞哥是包吃
So
但是
busted.
很强，
那就是
但
勇敢去
没有想到是
飞一定
包吃
吃。
对，
对，
就是在比赛里面要玩直
They
视
probably thought he wins for sure.
对，
Hey, you know what? I did that yesterday. Remember me yesterday? I observed and I missed the Garen 3, and then they just FF'd. See, it happens, man. It happens.
被勇敢去飞断了之后就没办法玩到了。
是的，这里
That's literally what I did yesterday. I feel validated. Good guy, see an observer. He must be a Frodan fan. He did that for
对于
me.
迅哥小齐来说，他们更能接受，因为本来来说他们就一定要被
Still mad about that? Well, I mean, at this rate, you're gonna die mad. You gotta let it go, brother. What's done is done. YiWai. It is what it is.
以上的3女坦应该是伤害不够，他3肉打不动这个50色加料。
The secret mental hack.
就是他的后排可能不太够。
你看这2个后排的科技枪。
哦。
Oh, they got the replay.
应该是3个大或者4个。
Oh, they couldn't kill Galio.
反手加料控了一下女坦，2个 C 把后排。
Okay, wait. So they're reshowing the fight. So what happened here? They're showing the fight. So Leona. So the problem is that his backline got sniped instantly. His Kog'Maw's already dead. And then Leona, they just can't kill the Galio. Oh, wait a second. I think he got rid of his Kog'Maw. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, never mind. He didn't. He still has it here. Unbelievable. Hodge Leona diff. I mean, when you're right, you're right. 6 Bastion. Do 3-star legendaries beat 10 verticals? They should, yeah. I believe 3-star legendaries do beat 10 verticals. I don't know if they beat every 10 vertical, though. I think 10 Exotech might be 3-star legendary. Like some 3-star legendaries. Not all of them. Some 3-star legendaries are literally like unbeatable because they're just like immortal and they kill everything. But there are a couple 3-star legendaries that are like not that good. Yeah, like these are Samira is kind of a fraudulent. Damn. Cypher reroll. Look at all these nerds. They love TFT. These are the heart rate monitors on their left wrists. Flancy, no. And all the people who bought 4, they have them with like a defeat screen, and then they have the people who top 4 with like the victory screen. Anyways, Juanmei set 5 world champion, HN. I don't know if HN actually won a regionals, but he's gone really far. Let me see. HN won. Oh, he won regionals back in set. 9? I want to say. Set 10? Oh no, he won set 12. Oh, I'm high. Anyways, HN also regionals winner as well. And apparently the center hostess, she also is 1000 LP this set, which is pretty cool. They absolutely clear the English casters. we're completely outmatched there. All right, let's run ads real quick. I'll be right back. If you guys want, maybe during the downtime, I'll show you guys what my personality type is. ENFP. ENFP stands for extroverted, intuitive, feeling, and perceiving. ENFP also is called the inspire or the campaigner, also known for their enthusiasm, creativity, and strong social skills. Not kills. They are energized by social interaction, are imaginative, and focus on possibilities, making decisions based on feelings and values. That is true. That's how I play TFT. And prefer flexibility and spontaneity over rigid structure. That's right. I mean, all of a sudden, that makes much more sense. Don't I make much more sense to you guys now? They thrive on social interaction and draw energy being around others. They prioritize emotions and values when making decisions, often following their gut. They're often described as charismatic, energetic, optimistic, and passionate. They are natural communicators and enjoy brainstorming and exploring new ideas. Damn, they're making me sound so good. They may struggle with routine tasks, be prone to disorganization, and sometimes have difficulty with strong emotions or conflict. It's true. You know what this is also, you know what you can also do to explain this? Lazy. I said actually yesterday that I consider myself to actually innately be like a lazy person. Like I was called lazy growing up, and I feel like I am lazy at times. Boom, screenshot. Sofa Kingdom, thank you for the prime. Anyways, that is my personality type. It's not like a zodiac thing because you're supposed to answer questions to get your personality type trait. It's not like when you were born dictates like your personality. Like they basically did a set of studies, and again, it's not scientific. This is all just relative, but they say like based on these combinations of how you interpret things, this is the type of personality that you might have like ties to, which I think is fair. Do you know what your wife is? I believe she is ENTJ. I believe she's an ENTJ. Yeah. She's a commander. She's my dummy mommy. All right. Here we go. Game 2. Game 2. Vi component anvils. People treat MBTI as astrology sometimes. Korea's crazy about it. I mean, there's a lot of methodology. Ooh, the anniversary map. There's a lot of methodology to back up like the correlations between it, but you can't just like let yourself be categorized purely off of those things too. Everyone has individual personality quirks and nuances to it. A lot of people like feel like those kinds of things strips them of their individuality, but and then there's other people who use it as if like this is my Bible, and I think neither approaches are ideal. But Korea is crazy about it, huh? MBTI. I mean, I would say that mine is pretty accurate, right? I definitely feel like mine is very accurate to who I am. So, I wouldn't say like it's 100% accurate. I would say that like 90% of what I read, though, I'm like that feels like it's me, and I think other people would laugh and say that's totally you. But I would definitely say there's some things every now and then I'm like that's not true. Correlation is not causation. Yep, exactly. You can't just say like, you can't just like look at that and say that it is a complete summary of you, but it is likely that you have overlapping attributes with other people who also define that way. Okay, component anvils, early LeBlanc, duplicator. I think we might be Cypher. XiaoQi. The only person who is not freaking out on stage is Flancy. Everyone else, 120, 130, 110, 110, 120, 125, 118. This guy is at a cool double digits. 96. And for reference, right now I'm at like 82. So I'm very calm, I think, relative to these guys. But man, ice in his veins. I wonder what when I played on Street Fighter tournament, I put my heart rate on stream, and my heart rate was like 110 when I was competing. So it's not like I'm much better. When I'm under stress at a tournament, I got to like 150 when I was winning my when I was playing my winning match to qualifiers to Japan. If you guys forgot, a few months ago, I played in a Street Fighter tournament for streamers, and if we won, we competed. We would get a trip to Japan, and we would compete in the finals against Japanese streamers. And my final match for against my opponent, where it was a match to win and qualify in, my heart rate reached like 140, 150. My biggest gripe with MBTI is that it's more or less a mom and daughter duo who read a psych textbook and made a fanfic about it. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong that there's like elements about it that feels like fanfic-y, but it's I like what Ordinarium says that it's a tool. It's a tool for you to understand yourself because the reality is a lot of people lack self-awareness. And you know what's funny is because when I was younger, I actually resisted personality tests because my mom did professional coaching courses, and my mom is a licensed coach. One thing that she does is she goes to corporations, they hire her to speak, and she does things to like train up executive leadership and also like do group stuff. You know what I mean? Just like corporate coaching. She does that for like Asian companies. And so she always had me do these tests growing up, and I was always like doing the same thing. Like, you can't define me. I hate this. It's so stupid, blah, blah, blah. And I remember one time there was a test that she had me fill out, and one of the things would be like, you are so fiercely independent minded that you would like actually hate taking a test like this. And actually I remember reading this and just be like, all right, this is the worst test of all time. But it was I remember it clocked me like super hard on that front, and I was like, okay, I probably should be a little bit more open-minded about this. If it like even gets it had the stone cold read that I would even hate taking a test like that. So it's just a tool for you to become more self-aware about things that like you understand more about yourself and potentially the way you interact with others as well. I heard that some woman won't even give a guy a chance if he doesn't know his personality type thingy. Oh my god, Toma traits. Okay. There's some kind of TFT meme baking in here. MBTI, your Myers-Briggs, and Toma traits, TFT. Dating, right? Looking for TFT girlfriend, in parentheses, serious. There's got to be something here. Somebody get in the kitchen. We got something cooking here. What's your MBTI type? And then someone like has a Toma traits. Okay, we gotta think about it. Oh. Cooking pot, double techie. Okay. Wow. This guy can go 6 techie on 7? Nutty. And he can stack his gorilla. You know what's kind of awkward about that though is that he can't actually get the techie emblem on someone else unless he puts it directly on the Mundo itself. Actually, that's probably fine. If you're a person who refuses to take that test, I think that does actually say things about you, though. Not that like it says anything necessarily bad. I do think it says things about you. If someone says like I would be interested in hearing it, and you're like I refuse to take it, I think it does tell you personality attributes. And I'm not saying that it should be something that disqualifies you from dating or being considered for anything, but I do think that it says something about you. No different than like, you know, would you get the flu shot? And someone's like, I refuse to get any kind of shots from medical experts. All natural, baby. I think that says something about you. And again, it's like something that people will choose to. So is it crazy to judge someone completely based off that? A little bit, but it's also like, it's also just something. It's personal preference, right? Confirm Frodan is a Korean woman. That would be my VTuber era, right? I just end up being a Korean woman. I have a voice changer. Hold on a second. I found out that there's a voice changer setting on my thing, and then I played around with it.
And I can sound like a small Japanese girl. Hi.
其实迅哥那边要看一下他，因为目前看来他是一个圣人底子，是奔着一个运营去玩的。然后这边的转职也做出来了。不知道迅哥开了个什么转职。
Real voice leak? That's not my real voice, man. Don't ever become a VTuber. It's the future, man. VTubers are taking over everything. They have the highest viewership.
其实一般来说，潘多拉能变成这样也很爽，但是它有基础中的锻造器，所以也正常。
I feel like some people all of a sudden found themselves really engaged, and other people are horrified. Like, huh? Bro didn't get my attention. I thought you were some just boring TFT analyst. Now, for some reason, I love you. It's weird, man. Psychology goes crazy. Cooking pot. Oh, this is a double techie player. I really like to find out attachment styles when dating. Way more helpful than Myers-Briggs. Wow, that is actually the real tech. Okay, if you guys actually are seriously trying to look at dating these days, which honestly, if you don't, dating is so hard these days. I get it. Honestly, it's like the worst. I'm so glad that I don't have to do that. Not that I'm trying to flex in front of you guys, but dating is the worst. I think JWPT actually has the real tech. Attachment styles are really, really huge. That's actually like the real tech. But it's like stuff that gets really like heavy into the psychology aspect of stuff. People's different attachment styles, and if you don't understand that, you should go read about it, and it'll like explain a lot about. It actually like has a lot of fundamental compatibility stuff that you can get to. My wife, the reason why I know is because Taylor talked about it a lot. Black market emblems, or sorry, black market augments. Someone has final reserves available to him. He's thinking about taking it. Soju isn't a VTuber unless the model is just a forehead. Yeah. What is attachment styles? It's like it depends on. I just want to make sure I get all the. There's basically people who have secure attachments. Let me look it up real quick. And then there's people who are avoidant, like conflict avoidant. And then there's. Okay, so there's secure attachments, anxious attachments, disorganized attachments, and avoidant attachments. The four attachment styles: secure, confidence, self-worth, accept support. Those are the people you really want. There's anxious. There's people who are clingy, highly emotional, seeking reassurance. Right? Chat, am I amazing? Like so secure attachment. I'm really good. I don't really care what you guys have to say. I know how good I am. I'm top 2. I'm top 1, rank 1. Yep. And then there's anxious, highly emotional, seeking reassurance. And then the people who are like asking for constant reaffirmation. Is it my fault? You guys hate me. And then there's avoidant, distant, unemotional, avoids closeness. The people who just don't even say anything after a bot 4. And then there's the disorganized, intense, push-pull, unpredictable. The people who just scream or who are completely volatile. The push-pull. What's the push-pull? It's like the people who play chase and then keep away. Anyways, those are like the 4 attachment styles, and figuring that out is like really, really important. I mean, generally speaking, you would prefer to be people who are secure, but everyone's got shades of different elements. The thing is, you can't just be like, well, I'm this and I'm that. There's like elements of all of that you can draw from. But yeah. We're getting deep here. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the reason why. The thing is, to understand somebody of these different attachment styles is you have to understand why that is. Like, as you start to get into some of their history and their past and like why they are the way that is. So my wife says that she is anxious. She's just generally a high baseline anxious person. And she defines me as a secure person. And she's very envious of that, is what she says all the time. But I have shades of anxiety as well. Or being an anxious person. So you're him. I wouldn't define myself as such.
对，这个
对啊，
想的可能。
我8级抽一下，把我的枪手基础一抽。
但我是
there's like a lot of times when it comes to these kinds of typing things where people say that like one type is strictly the best, and it's not like there's like, okay, this is like the best and this is like the worst. It's more about understanding who you are and communicating that, and then be willing to work around those things, right? Not there's not necessarily like, yes, there are things that are just straight up personality flaws, but most of the things are personality types, and you understand. The more you understand yourself, the more you can communicate about it, work with it, work around it, and actually even maybe turn into something positive. At least that's the way I view things, perhaps.
感觉真的要抽出来，因为
Instead of just being like, well, that's just a straight, you know, terrible thing that's about yourself, and like, well, whatever, throw your hands up.
也是急了一点。
Okay, so what do we have here? We have the high-end shopping calculate loss, Cypher. He's going to lose one more. He doesn't actually have that much Cypher going on. He's only 64. But I think that's okay because he's just playing calculate loss, high-end shopping. So he's going to roll an 8. This is the Urgot setup. Oh, no, he's playing Strategist Emblem. Oh, Strategist Emblem, i.e. Kraken. That's probably still Urgot. But what strategist do you even play with that? Because when you have strategist emblem, my mind turns to like amp, but maybe he's just gonna hit everything and doesn't really matter and just splash in like whatever strategist. Oh wait, is he gonna play LeBlanc? No, he's not gonna play LeBlanc. He's playing high end shopping. Immediate Samira, by the way. But it is high end shopping. I think it's just Urgot, right? Oh, he's gonna play Cyberboss? Oh, double Urgot. Psychology isn't a hard science. It would be if humans would be smarter, but we ain't. We stupid. That's a good summary of it. I just did a test since you started talking about it. Turns out I'm an INTJ. Interesting. INTJ. What would you say? What would you say INTJ? Would you say it's generally summarizes you correctly? Like how much percentage of it would you say that it feels like, wow, that they actually got me versus wrong? I would say that the description of it for me is about 90%, if I would be very honest about it. I mean, some things are wrong, but not many. Wow. Okay, so he wasn't playing for Cyberboss. He was just playing. I don't know, he's just playing Strategist Emblem for funsies. Okay. Oh god, these Urgot items. It's like two pretty suboptimal items. But whatever, it is what it is. His item situation is not great anyways. Rageblade IE Urgot is not very good. Mine feels like 80%. Yeah. INTJ, often called the architect, the mastermind, a personality type by introversion, intuition, thinking, and judging. They're known for strategic thinking, independence, and desire for competence. They're analytical, logical, enjoy problem solving. Oh man, no wonder you guys love TFT. What? That makes sense. That makes sense. They excel at long-term planning and problem solving. They prefer to work alone or are comfortable in their own company. They're known for their ability to come up with solutions. They rely on logic and reason to make decisions. It wouldn't surprise me if this personality type is extremely common among TFT players. It's literally Kraken +2. I mean, Kraken, I don't even think is Urgot's best item, personally. If you think it's Kraken +2, that means that Kraken's his best item. I don't think it's his best item, but I think it's a good item on him, though. Fake psychology jargon. See, that's what I'm talking about. Some people just legitimately just say it's like, it's all fake. You can't categorize me. I'm my own individual person. And if they took the test, they would actually clock you on that. I felt the same way growing up. When I was like 15, 16, I felt the same way. My mom made me take all those tests. I was like, this is just nonsense. Like, whatever, you're just making stuff up to sound smart and you're getting swindled by it. And then, And then they clocked me on that too. It is what it is. Listen, man, it's just a tool. If it gets you all worked up, don't worry about it too much. Don't stress about it. So we already have Urgot 2 out of the pool, so he's not likely to hit it. Basically, the way it works is like the first person that rolls is likely to hit Urgot 2. The second person that rolls is unlikely to hit, but it'll take him like way more gold. And the person who's third to Urgot is just never gonna hit Urgot. Like they'll hit one copy, but they'll never hit Urgot 2. It's just very, very, very unlikely. So that's why when 4 people are playing Urgot, it's crazy. Wow, final reserves 8th. Damn. Dude, Snowy's scores are 7As. This guy is not having a good start. And it's only 5 games. Isn't Deathblade his best item for Urgot? I think his best item in the stats, someone told me it was blue buff. Someone reliable told me it was blue buff. I'm gonna go Urgot, Cho'Gath, Garen, and then let's put his craftable items here. His single best item for Urgot, high play rate, is Flail. Flail, Giant Slayer, blue buff. I mean, that's all debatable, but Flail might be his best item if you're able to get the Executioner on him. But either way, it's like it's a toss-up between all these. Basically, just some of these damage items. But Kraken's really high up there as well. Actually, Kraken is the highest play rate by a big margin. If you take out Rageblade, I mean, Rageblade's a combo item with Kraken as well. It might be Kraken. It's like, its play rate's so high that it might be, yeah. But some people are like, oh, blue buff is actually like secret bis. It's debatable. I would say Kraken's is very good. So maybe if you were to go off of that, it's like Kraken +2. That I could see that. It could also be blue buff plus like guard breaker. And you play like the Vex items on it. It could be also good. 6 golden ox, trench coat, graves, disgusting. Hyrule Story, thank you for 20 months. Other than watching Coaching Worlds, officially in the set 15 waiting room. Well, good news. Set 15 is literally like 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away. Worlds is in 1 week. Actually, it's even faster than that if you want to play PBE. It's in like a week and a half. It's crazy. It's crazy. I will say that I'm in the set 15 waiting room. Unfortunately, there's a pretty good chance I'm not going to be streaming. I'm not going to be entering the box bootcamp, and I'm not sure if I'll be streaming much at launch because of EWC. So I think the Vitality guys generally don't want to stream anything leading up to EWC, and so I'm gonna go period. I'm probably gonna be going dark for like a couple weeks or so when I fly to Paris and do the boot camp stuff. I'll miss you too. I'll think about all of our meaningful chats together. Kern was talking about blue buff Urgot last night. Big fan, it seemed. No, it is good. It is good. It's just not a very common thing to build on him because it's weird to play blue buff into Urgot, but you totally can. Chat, can we stay on topic? I don't want to hear about Urgot or TFT. Well, you guys want personality dating advice? Is that what it is? Ooh, Shojin JG. Oh, is he missing utility? He's missing anti-heal. Okay, so he has to get Sunfire. That makes sense. Yes, I want to know S tier for wife. Well, the thing, I mean, I have a different theory when it comes to it. He's actually going to get 8 Techie on 9, by the way. I think he might win the game. Double cooking pot, Techie emblem, 8 Techie, stacking the Mundo, 3-star with pretty good items. I think he might win the game. I actually do think that it can beat these Urgot boards if they're ahead enough in tempo. Because like Ateki is very, very good.
轮换区分又赢下一波。
I don't know if he can get there though. I don't know if he can get there. He might not get there in time before he gets like the Viego and everything like that.
少一块。
可以拆
I don't think there's an.
掉
I mean, I don't think there's like technically like the S tier personality
他如果
of
留了那个头是可以的
对，
两星
of
多
like the
看一个
Myers
开
Briggs
发
stuff. I mean, I personally believe that if you work on yourself,
算吧。
then
不过带舞其实它需要8法
then things like good things will come because I believe if you work on yourself and make yourself just like generally a more attractive person, then you'll naturally attract the kind of person that you want to surround yourself with.
赢的镜像
Like I think if you generally like are a terrible like if you have a bad personality type in general, like you try to take advantage of others, you lie, you cheat, you steal, then you naturally are like surrounding yourself by people who like also will try to be doing that kind of stuff or like also just do a lot of dishonest behavior. But I think like in general, like what you put out is like the kind of stuff that you invite in.
哦，也是给出了这种动态的画面啊。那 Flancy 这一把拿到
It's kind of like if TFT,
是一个5分
if you just pick good augments, build good items, and make generally good decisions, it feels like you just naturally high roll a little bit more.
转职一发对于像这
It's
种
like that.
选手来说就很伤。
You know what I mean?
Flancy
You guys understand. You guys always build good items and pick good augments and make good decisions.
但是
不能这么想呀，永远区别还
This guy has 3 golden ox emblems?
高单股他是95，那就没有任何问题。
It's a lot like that.
纯阴实力是强的，高单购物也是强的。
You'll find yourself naturally high rolling a lot more.
刚弹出的
Ooh,
标是
top corner Sejuani.
铁男差一张3，现在变成了微
Oh, he tried to go for the hard read. And this Sejuani is in the worst spot ever. Oh no. Stunning literally 0 important units. And he exposed his entire left side.
但是能克这个风，
Oh god.
好像有点
Wait a second.
但还有个三塞纳后排。
Wait a second. Vex?
哎呦，反手能点死。
Oh.
塞纳反手点死了。
All right. Well.
这个6还真的给他玩出来啊！
铁球滚起来
All
了。
right. Good try.
还
Good
真的
try.
给他玩起来。
确实，一般是3个转的6伏发育起来了。
I tried to tell my friend this, improve yourself stuff, but he first calling women
他
whores.
2个可能就记
Well, I mean,
他
it's-
6级开不出来，
对，
他2个
It doesn't sound like he's
且
in a good place mentally. And I think the problem with dating
就是你只有一个
for a lot of people right now is that it tends to be
2
like a spiraling effect.
但他这把确实也很艰辛的一点是，他6伏牛开的早，但是男枪3的晚。
People who tend to like suffer rejection or like heartbreak and things like that, it can spiral out of control really badly. And so it's really hard to self-correct in those kinds of situations because I mean I've been through some pretty dark times too.
上波干拉的
带
6级，
舞他能打过带舞吗？带舞这2
不一定打过，带舞
有点难。
又成长了，对，因为
I actually legitimately thought that I wasn't gonna get married and have kids at one point in my
无所谓了。
like actually it, literally like right before I met Taylor. I specifically said
想打的应该就是李
I think I'm just gonna do my 30s solo because I dated most of my 20s and I just was not having fun at all. And like I'm not gonna get married in my 30s. That means I'm probably not gonna have kids, and I'm just gonna do this gaming esports thing. I'm just gonna be like one of those eligible bachelors, you know, living in LA, still single, and like you know, I'll be an eligible bachelor forever. Why is he still single? You know, that kind of guy. And then I met my wife like 2 months later. It's funny how that works out.
这个时候已经不管为谁了，这个时候
Okay, can anyone stop this Urgot board? I mean, there is another Urgot player, right? So the only thing that can stop him is another Urgot player, I think, at this point.
又是个斗士。
Because I don't think the techie player, can get to the Viego too, especially if this guy's holding Viego. I think the way the A techie caps out is Viego brand 2.
永远是纯靠质量在玩。
对，
So I don't think he can get there.
碰了谁？
The semifinals right now, it ended a few hours ago. Where is the Chinese VOD located? It's on Twitch. I'm watching on Twitch. Damn, that Viego into the clump.
皇子3了，不过
Ooh, if he had casted one more time,
男枪滑到后
he would have done so much damage to all these Grave clones. But I still don't think Graves can get this done.
过不去，
这波正好还偷了个
Too
小
much
杀补了一波
stuff.
其实
伤害
哇，你别说，其实真
If he can continue pumping though, I can see a world where he gets like the Graves board can get to a high cap as
意外
well.
还有一波容错。
对。他6
I've been single for nearly 9 years. When is it my turn?
3家都有提升，
I think, I mean, I don't know you at all.
他现在目前体现就是扎克的习
But I would
惯
definitely
版
say
本
that
被削弱
if it's like I'm single for X and it should be like my turn, I think that's like not the right mentality. You're probably obviously saying that's like,
这只是试斗士。
you
我
know,
们之前
as a
反省
joke.
那个
But if that's actually the mentality, that like that tells you a lot about why you're single.
对他站自己
No
的位
flame. I'm actually not flaming you, but that is actually the mentality of like why you might be single.
对，
那没提升了呀，只能
低细
递
胞
一下细胞。
Because it kind of goes back to what I was saying
这个
before,
这些
which
店
is
要不要上酒啊？
you're looking outward, you're not looking inward.
上了上了，就这递完了。
Let me say something else on top of that. You have to be happy being single. I think being happy being single actually increases your chance of getting of dating for a lot like significantly. Because if you're happy by yourself, you're gonna people are gonna be like, why is this person so happy by themselves?
他容错，你让
And that actually naturally makes you much more attractive. If you're miserable being single, then why do people want to be around you?
因为这个版本扎克的
Why do
细胞
people want to
量
be around you? I mean, you might be a really
非常
popular
高
streamer if you're
然后
miserable
受
and
益值
single.
增强了但是
Because
在
they're
熬很
you know,
很
other people
这
might
边
want
甚至有
like to be
点难
miserable
打
with you, and
没打
maybe
过
they hate watching you as well. But like in terms of an
我感觉
actual
在
serious
在
companion,
李少6战第二，李少
who wants to be around someone that's like constantly miserable?
环到9级之后玩出来的。
对，
主要李少
两个
后面
转职
两个海克斯确实也很占理，
战力有点高了，这个战
对
力。
Me.
还有个
Yeah.
三星千珏
Only
其实
only
这样子
cams.
后面的都变成了
One
竞
person in chat wants to be miserable. So anybody wants to be miserable with him, go for it. But generally speaking, dating should be a happy experience.
三星不容三星得来
If
回
you
三
date
星
someone who's constantly miserable, but they're like very attractive, and then people are like, man, that's crazy. This person who I find extremely, you know, attractive is miserable by themselves, and then when I date them, it's just like they're always so unhappy. Isn't that crazy?
南枪呢？
我
It's
怎么
like
感觉
not
有点
really.
卡牌一个牌全死了。
但是过这个布隆过得还挺快的
Is this 7 Syndicate? No, it's just 5.
有一个男
三
生
个人稳了。
Radiant Void Staff with the Pandoras. That's pretty good.
赢了赢了赢了。
Oh, wow.
哦，反正是
Oh,
YY
wow. Golden Ox in 4th?
在我被
Oh, he
另外
got
的
3rd.
YY 被
So it's...
小期
Wait,
待
did the Urgot player just die? Yeah, the other Urgot player just... So this guy beat him. This guy... Oh, he has double Boombot Emblem. Oh,
上
okay.
回加特2战。
That means he killed himself. Oh, that's always crazy. He lost a worth the wait Kindred 3 with Boombot.
无中生有的不
Wow.
清不过来，有点。
That's nuts. When did you realize your woman was the one? Within the first 20 minutes that I met her. Or the first 2 hours, actually. I would say that the first 20 minutes was like an infatuation period. But when I realized she was the one was actually when I had a...
咱们
It's a little bit of a cringe moment. But it's like a special moment for me and her. If you want to actually hear the
第二下能
story
不能直接把
of like when I realized she was the one.
听得过来吗？后排。
And I had a sneaking suspicion when I first met her.
一点点
Just because it was like an
小
instant...
是很
It was like an instant click
真挺夸张的质量。
type of love at first sight type of thing.
没有。
没有转职
But
如果说哪一边
李少
there was a specific moment that I met her,
小口听牌，
when I met her, that I'll never forget.
补了一个绿甲给他
Because
再扎实一点
I literally thought
很大。
that she was either... I mean, I should probably explain it.
一星就打得差不多了。
I mean, 6 Boombot wins this, right? Is there any chance that Twisted Fate 3 outcaps a 6 Boombot Urgot board? I don't think so. Especially with 2 Boombot emblems. I guess he doesn't have Garen.
小西给
I can explain it between
德
games.
文
But,
补
you
了
know.
一个无尽第二转职
What up, Mort? That's my secret cap. I'm always happy.
口火上去控一下
但这边两星
Always happy.
防线提升还是很大。
是的
小七换位置了
换了一
没？
下位置，这波是对的。
德伦刮，那相当于刮到了。
I'm glad that that's what you think, Mort. I feel like you can't say that you're always happy when I've seen you talk to some TFT players
还得要一个大招。
and witness firsthand your frustration.
哎，只死了一个天劫。
但前外先倒了
But I understand what you mean.
其实螃蟹好像就完全打不了了。
如果要2个德莱文的大招加2个女枪的大招，你就算把后排杀了，扎克也能把你全杀了。
Okay, so he moved the Syndicate hat off of Draven and onto
不能越过就是
onto
越过
Aurora. That makes sense because I don't think Syndicate emblem is on average worse than a regular item unless you get to 7.
是的
You'd rather just get like a regular item.
因为它单在战力转的嘛，其实本来一件装备变成了
I don't care about TFT.
就变成两件。
Hold on, let's just watch this. Hold on, you guys. This guy's about to do something really cool. He's about to win with 6 Boombot Kindred. Let's ignore all the other context, but this guy wins with Kindred 3 worth the wait, and he picked Ascension as well. These are like these are things that many top players would consider to be bad or, you know, just extremely situational. Kindred 3 Boombot. Wow. Doesn't he have Kindred 4? I mean, I think he found a cool line though. Lishao. I mean, I pegged him as one of the favorites. I would say him, Xunge, and Flancy are my big 3. That's why I put him in my title. Look at these nerds enjoying team fight tactics. All INTJs, all of them. All of them. Some considered the worst augment in the game. Ascension, yeah. Ascension kicked in right as the fight was ended. All right. So story time. I'll tell this. I'll tell this real quick. So my wife and I met at Evo in Las Vegas, and Evo tends to be very, very male dominated. Fighting games in general, there's not many women just there at tournaments, and so usually the ratio is pretty bad at gaming events. You know, 10-1, 20-1. I'm not even joking. I was at the pre-party. I was at the Red Bull party. And the reason why I was at the Red Bull party was because my roommate worked at Red Bull Gaming, Raging Cherry. He sometimes stops by in chat. He now works at Riot and over in Singapore. But he was running like the VIP pool party beforehand at Evo. And he told me to come through and show up. And so I didn't want to. I actually, specifically, I was actually going to Evo just to compete. I landed at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., and the party was like getting started, right? And I'm like, I don't know anyone because I'm not really like, I play fighting games, but I'm not like part of the FGC like in a meaningful way. In my opinion, I'm wrong actually. The thing about FGC is that they welcome a lot of people, which is very nice. But I was like, I don't know anybody. It's like 11 p.m. Dude, my pools are in the morning, whatever. I like need to get to the hotel and rest. He's like, no, just come through. The party, I ended up showing at the party. It was, I'm not even joking, 100-1. There were like 4 women there, period. Like there was like 3 to 4 or maybe even 5, but it was a complete utter hot dog fest. It was crazy. And so we met there because I mean I didn't even try to approach her. I was just like, I'm here to hang out. It turns out I knew a few people, so like the few people I know, I like talked to for an overextended period of time. Because I'm like, please don't leave. If you leave and you go hang out with someone else, I don't know anyone else. I'm not like saying this out loud. I'm thinking this as I'm talking to some people that I'm catching up with, right? One of the people that I'm talking to finally leaves. I'm like, okay. I go around and I grab a cup of water because I don't really drink at parties either. I'm not really like a big drinker. And when I grab a cup of water and ice, I turn around and she's there. She's actually approached me. I mean, before we did that, we actually locked eyes across the room, but I thought she was looking at someone else. I did the thing where she like, me and her, we actually locked eyes from across. She was at the pool and I was at the bar area. But I thought she was looking at someone else. Because, you know, you don't want to... Look, there's 5 girls at a party. And if you just assume that she's looking at you, I don't know. It's just like one of those things where she could be looking at someone else. And she was also with her friends. So I thought she was like, oh, there's someone else that I know. Because if I go up to her, I'm like, were you looking at me? And she's like, no, I was looking at someone else, like, weirdo. I'm like, all right. I try to avoid those situations in general. And so I turn around, she's there, she introduces herself to me. And there's actually like a lot of details here that I'm gonna actually skip because I've told the story a few times already on stream. But I don't know if you guys want like the actual full story because this full story takes like 20-30 minutes. But the short story is we clicked really well, and there were some dudes that were trying to hit on her in the party. So she moved me because she's like, you want to get out of here and go gamble with my friends? I'm like, sure. We didn't gamble, though. We went and we just ended up hanging out, talking most of the night. and then eventually I moved her, and we walked down the Las Vegas Strip. And you guys want the full story? I don't know if you guys the full story. Then we have to actually pause watching this, and I don't know if people like actually want to pause this. Some people are here for the TFT, man. Some people are here for the TFT. You moved her? Yeah, okay. So when you're like meeting somebody, a really big important moment is when you can move locations. It's just like a thing about when you talking to somebody. If you meet someone at a bar, you can kind of tell intent if you like want to move them. AKA, do you want to get out of here and go grab coffee or like go do something? Basically, do something to indicate that they would remove themselves from the situation to imply interest, so that they get to know you a little bit more, right? So that's like So she moved me first. She was like, "Do you want to get out of this party and go do something?" I'm like, "Sure." And then when we went to go gamble with her friends, eventually we were talking, and then I was like, "It's my turn to do something." So I suggested to move her, and then we did. So that was how we knew that we were interested in each other. Okay, but now I'm like skipping all over parts of the story, so I feel like I have to start over then if I have to tell the full story. Okay, and also I have to run an ad break as well, because it's like you guys are gonna get ads as well during it though. I came for the dating stories. I'm starting to get a little flushed because it's like the story. Okay, so here's the full story. I call you up to most of it at the beginning, right? So we lock eyes at the party. I turn around, she's there. Right? So you imagine me holding a cup of water in my hand. The only woman in the room that I thought was attractive is there saying hi. And the first thing that comes out of her mouth was that she saw my fitness progress pictures on the internet. She turned around, she says, "Hi, I saw that you posted fitness progress pictures on the internet." And I want to say that I think the way people responded to you was pretty terrible. And I was kind of taken aback because that is a hell of an opener. I did not know that she was going to start like that. Because what ended up happening was when I posted my fitness progress picture, my thirst traps, if you will, a lot of people like said, "Oh, this guy is like using steroids, or he's on some kind of gear, so on and so forth." And I had never, and it's very obvious that I don't. If for anybody who actually does those kinds of things, but there's a lot of people who got really mad, and I actually had like hate brigades. I had subreddit posts. They're like esports influencer, like on steroid. You know when there's like subreddits dedicated to like posting shame stories. I actually made it on some of those subreddits and other posts like that because people linked it to me. I got a lot of hate for that, actually. And so she was like, "I'm really sorry about the way people treated you." And so I was taken aback by that. I was caught off guard. So that was her opening line. And it immediately put me in like on the back foot in a more vulnerable spot. And then from there, I was like, yeah, well, it is what it is. People are terrible on the internet. It is. I'm not too upset about it, but I appreciate you saying that. And then we started like talking more and more. The thing is, I kind of knew things about her. I knew that she was a talent agent because she worked at a gaming talent agency. And so I thought that she was talking to me to recruit me. Oh, there's an ad going on? Oh, sorry. All right, you know what? We'll pause the story. Okay, sorry. Ads auto ran. I'll pause the story.
所以我感觉从现在开始就看谁能玩到一个，就是能追分最快的办法，应该就是玩到一个5直视。
They're unsubbed. It's their loss. No, come on, man. Let's not be like that. Okay. Azir, I believe it's earlier augments.
他男枪其实3的也比较晚嘛。那这一把也是强化符文
14 points, 130 on the heart rate.
是提前。
哦，就是那个提前的嘛。
对，所以很想看说有没有可能2阶段，刷2个。
对，就一些奇奇怪怪联动就上来了。
是的。
All right, what are we talking about? TFT now?
因为第一个升级楼拿的比较少。
是的。
什么升级楼加对冲？
She wanted to recruit you to the family? Yes.
见过，但好像很
I mean, that was my belief. I mean, I'll talk about it in a minute or so, but that was like literally my belief as well. Like, I thought that she was trying to recruit me to be part of the talent
就早些
agency.
联动的。
So I know because the esports industry is kind of small, right? Like you kind of like know things about people, even if you never like talk to them because you may have just seen them. Like I'm pretty sure most people who like follow TFT have seen people adjacent to TFT and like know things about them. So I had seen her in other. I had seen her before. And I knew that she was part of the talent.
这两个阵容削了之后，可能南枪会舒服一点。
对，南枪不怕。
Did you know if you sub with Prime, there won't be ads in your Frodan thirst trap stories? I mean, he's right. Alex, with the knowledge bomb. It's all true. Not a single lie was detected. We have Nitro. I think China does play Nitro, though. So far, I think we've had a couple of Nitros played. At least one person rolled to 0, like every single turn in stage 3. That was kind of crazy. What time zone will Worlds be in? It's in every time zone. I think Worlds is technically it's central US time zone, Central European time zone, and China. I think those are the 3 time zones they're playing in. But China doesn't have one time zone, right? China has multiple time zones, or am I... Does China have multiple time zones? No, they follow a single standard. Beijing's located. Okay, China follows one standard time zone. Wow, that's crazy. It's the largest sovereign nation in the world that officially observes one time zone. Damn, that's how unified they are. Okay, what do we got? Board of directors, shop glitch. Seen as one time zone? Yeah, it makes sense. It actually geographically spans 5 time zones. But it only has 1. That's nuts. You know what? I'm down to simplify time zones. Every time I tune into a Frodan stream, he's always doing anything but playing TFT. Does he ever play TFT? Me? Play TFT? I mean, not only do I play TFT, I think I've played more TFT than I would almost say almost all of you guys in chat, and more games than a lot of people here in ranked. I have about 600 something games, 700 games this set. So, man, does this guy play TFT? 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 This guy does play TFT? Does this guy play TFT? This guy play TFT? Does this guy... I don't think any of these guys play TFT. I've never seen Frodan polls end in Frodan plays TFT. That is also true. I actually ask people what they want, and they usually say, watch TFT, talk about TFT, analyze TFT. They don't often say play TFT. You are getting one guide. Oh, I mean, I'm not like offended. Because I would be offended if I actually didn't play TFT. But I do play TFT, so what's there to be mad about? But if it was like, if I actually didn't play enough TFT and I was insecure about that fact, I'd probably overreact. But there's no reason to because I know that I play TFT. And there's like mountains upon mountains of evidence that I play a lot of TFT. In fact, I probably play more TFT than I should. In the sense that I get like marginal gains from playing versus like studying and like actually using it. Or actually like improving at the game. But like a lot of times I just play TFT. So there's nothing. If anything, that person might be right. Maybe I play too much TFT. I only watch your videos since you stream when I work normally. I have an entire YouTube channel dedicated to me playing TFT. You say you watch me on YouTube. I actually have games where I'm like regularly playing TFT. I talk about TFT, but I also have a lot of games of me playing and me farming more dog drama. I mean, that's basically what we want, right? We want tubers, highlights, and more dog drama. I got you. It's cringe to like things and responding to questions is getting one guy, which is also cringe, and breathing is cringe. You're cringe. I'm gonna frame that on my wall. It's kind of like a, you know the image of the guy talking to himself in the mirror. I'm gonna do that routine every morning. It's cringe to like things. Responding to questions is getting one guide, and it's also cringe. You're cringe. Okay, another augment here. Survivor. What if they offered Survivor at 3-2? This guy has Mordekaiser 2. Wow. That's really good. Let's go, Flancy. My boy, Flancy. I mean, I think this is generally really good because he's on a streak so far, and he can just continue his streaks. 100 HP. He also has chassis mode with crown guard. Really insane spot. Really insane spot, honestly. He should be basically like very, very likely a top 4. And the question is whether or not he can convert further onto that. The one caveat is that he might not find bow items for Zeri, which could be a problem. Because when you're last pick, it's kind of hard to get bows. So he's going to have to hope. But he does have an unstable component, so this can turn into a bow. Any interested tech? Plenty. You have to go back and watch it, though. Paid chatter alert. Thanks for being such a great dude in this community. Genuinely love what you do and what you build for this game. And community less than 3. Wow. Thank you for the paid chatter alert. I was ready to brace my expectations. Except, here's the plot twist, guys. Can you believe I didn't actually pay them to say anything? In fact, actually, the way I work off of my system is that you don't get payment until you say something nice. So technically, they aren't paid yet, which means nobody is a paid chatter when they say nice things about me. That's just how we roll. Technically correct. Which is the best kind of correct. Plus 2 kills? That's actually great. For him trying to lose that fight. Polished Chrome, another Nitro player. They love the Nitro. Technically cringe. It's true. It's true. I am very cringe. I mean, there's a meme about don't cringe, kill the part inside of you that cringes. It's actually true. Because a lot of the things that you find that are cringe are largely because... I mean, it's just largely because you are cringe. I don't know how else to say it without just being upfront about it. A lot of people who find everything cringe are the ones who are super cringe. And they're also the people who are usually devoid of any meaningful personality, which is also interesting. It's an interesting phenomenon. Chatters actually pay Frodan to say nice things to him. I mean, I've got the system figured out. Man. Pays for itself. Yeah, here comes the polished chrome. Yeah, you have to roll really aggressive with this. I expect to roll to 0. The only caveat is that if he's like not close at all, dude, this guy rolls so slow. My God, dude. you actually the thing about it is when you hit the 3-star really matters because it gives you the stacks and it gives you gold back for polished chrome. I'm very surprised this guy is like rolling this slow. Holy cow! Like he's one off Kindred. He missed Kindred 3. Like it's I mean he wins anyways. I guess it's fine. But like it's one of those things where snowball because then he would get the 10 gold to roll for Nidalee 3 for polished chrome. Stuff like that. So I feel very personally attacked. The guy who calls everything cringe is personally attacked when successfully called out, when correctly called out that they are the cringe ones. It sounds like a Northern Lion one-liner joke. Guy who finds everything cringe is actually the most cringe of all, offended by the notion that he is cringe himself. I saw this thing where Northern Lion, as a cold open to the stream, just rattle off 5 minutes of one-liners nonstop because he was so bored on vacation, he thought of jokes to tell his stream when he came back. And it's a bunch of Mitch Hedberg one-liner type stuff. And honestly, it might be the most goated 5 minutes of 2025 for a gaming streamer, because apparently those are an endangered species these days. I decided to rebrand. I'll no longer be talking about TFT. Instead, I'll be thinking desperately about how to make one-line zingers to make you guys all laugh. At least chortle quietly in your chair. Now, the thing is, I'm not that clever. I'm not that clever. He's like a really clever guy. He's mastered delivery. And he's bald. So he has like the perfect defense mechanism. I can't compete with that. I have to just be myself. It's so effortless. I mean, he has years and years of practice. Do you understand how many correct plays he has sacrificed to the gaming gods? Optimal lines that Northern Lion has passed up for the sake of getting 1% funnier. He reminds me of my 8th grade history teacher. It sounds like you had a really good time in middle school if that guy was like Northern Lion. I mean, maybe he was. Who knows? That guy's been around for a while. TFT streamer trying to get out of his mold and become funny screams midlife adventures. I mean, that's another Northern Lion one-liner as well. Strategy game streamer with hair attempts to be the next Northern Lion. The yoink and twist. You take Ludwig and you cross over the Northern Lion, you get Frodan. He has 3,000 videos of just yapping over Binding of Isaac. That's crazy, man. That's like the anime training arcs. When Netero from Hunter x Hunter does his gratitude training arc, I need to give you guys a little visual of this. When he's literally like in the wild doing his training arc, doing 1 punch of gratitude a day. That's Northern Lion doing his Binding of Isaac, practicing his yap. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, so we hit Nidalee 3 and we hit Kindred 3. Flancy actually did lose some tempo. Interesting. Or rather, lost some fights. In fact, he lost a lot of fights. I thought that Mordekaiser was going to secure it for him, especially if they have the Rage Blade. But he must have gotten the Rage Blade kind of late. And that's actually kind of what I was talking about. He actually didn't get much tempo on his side without the bows. So that's sort of the give and take what we're talking about. Gunblade, Edge of Night, Void Staff, and Morello. So I wanted to say that he was leaning towards Vex, but he has Edge of Night? Edge of Night? Is it Zed? Is it Divinicore Zed Vex? I mean, that could be. That actually makes the most sense. But I'm not sure. 140 on the heart rate. Okay, this can't be right. Do you see this? 118, 141, 115, 135. I think they're cooking the numbers a little bit. I think they're cooking the numbers a little bit here. China cooking the numbers? It couldn't be. I'm reporting this to the Better Business Bureau. Only legitimate numbers on my screen. You should get it checked out? Yeah, I agree. Why are they at heart rate? I think it's fun. It emphasizes the emotions because in TFT has a lot of similarities to poker. But I would say that one of the most important things about TFT similarity to poker is you need to stay composed. It's a bad thing to get worked up during a game. It clouds your judgment. Some people call it tilt. But I wouldn't even just say it's tilt. I would just say it's losing composure. Because you might not be actually tilted, but you could just be like losing composure. But the thing is, we all know that people are freaking out inside. The internal dialogue is going crazy. The imposter syndrome, the fear and the anxiety, the rage, the desire to tweet at Mordog spontaneously. Even though he already has blocked you. And so the heart rate gives us a window into their soul. But the thing is, it has to be accurate. Now I feel like I can't trust these numbers. Xunge 115, 140. Hot, cold. Not into their heart. No, much deeper. Because you look in 156, 119. 158. You know, I would... I think he's about to die, you guys. This is a little excessive, man. I shouldn't be laughing. That's not... This is not a laughing matter. When do we just straight up hook them to EKJs? I think pretty soon. Pretty soon. I don't think we're at there yet. As you know, it takes a crisis to usually stoke in an active emergency. Sometimes, like, the first lesson is the most unnecessary one, but unfortunately, that's usually what provoked action. I think that's where we're at right now. We're just waiting. Like, when will Twitch finally take action against streamers who are absolute utter idiots and driving while streaming and looking at their cell phone? Unfortunately, I think the reality is there's not going to be action taken until there's some idiot that actually just gets punished for being like that. It's actually like that actually, I mean, people talk about like the ethics behind certain things, like gambling stream is exposing people who are susceptible to that, or you know, maybe like things are like content that's too graphic for minors or whatever, and that's definitely true. But like actively streaming yourself with a vehicle that is with like a weapon that's actually known to be the #1 source of deaths for young people is yeah, I don't know, it's just obscene to me. I lose like an immense amount of respect for anybody who does that. I don't care who you are. And I feel like it's stupid because if something happens, then I'm supposed to feel bad for them. You know what I mean? Like it's I guess I could pity them for like being so stupid. But I don't. I've lost people in my life because of drivers like that. And yeah, like it's growing up, it was a really big tragedy in my town. Is there any reason why that person didn't slam Shojin? Which one? This person? The Cypher player? Is because he's playing around Draven as his primary carry. with Cypher, it's better to make sure that you funnel into a primary carry than spread out items. You'd rather have 3 items on like a LeBlanc 3, and you'd rather give her items that you eventually put on Draven as well. So you can put like an IE on her temporarily, and you play around a 3-item LeBlanc 3 than like a 2-item Draven, because it has Draven items, and like a 1-item LeBlanc 3. So you just really want to focus fire. We're talking about the brand? Oh, if you're talking about this guy, it probably should be Shojin, because Shojin JG snipers is the build. Unless he's trying to go guard breaker, but I don't think he's in a position to do that. I think he should slam Shojin if they're talking about the brand. Is Rengar a thing? I mean, he's been a thing for a while, but it's not really consistent. I would say that, like, if you told me that Rengar was played on average 1 time per tournament day, I would believe you, but I would say that this still doesn't make it a good comp. It's basically a comp that you only can play if you have the econ and set up for it. Because 3-cost reroll is really expensive, and its tempo window is really thin. The problem with 3-cost reroll right now is that it's more expensive than 4 costs. Like, it's actually harder to hit things like Rengar 3, Jinx 3 than it is like a Zeri 2 and a Philios 2. I mean, that just makes sense. This guy gets his Warmogs, beast. But the problem is your tempo window is thinner than a lot of other compositions, because you can't really bully unless you're high rolling, and you only have like a couple of rounds on stage 4 to actually continue your win streak before you start losing control and getting outscaled. And then you mix in some fact that some people are fast 9, so now your window is even smaller than the usual. Right? Like, it feels like if you don't hit Rengar 3 super fast, like he hit Rengar 3 in the beginning of stage 4. If he missed that, Rengar 2 does absolutely nothing. And so that window of like when you can like keep your momentum up is really thin. And at the highest level, if you're behind by 1 or 2 rounds, 1 or 2 lives, that is anything upward to like, it could be an entire like top 2, bot 2 placement swing. Like, you can go as high as 2nd and you can go as low as 8th, right? If you're like playing 3-cost reroll and you hit on time versus not. And so why is it not more common, even though it's really good? If you filter Rengar 3 in the stats, it like looks good, right? Rengar 3. It's like, you know, 7 Street Demon. Man, this is insane. Why don't people play more Rengar 3? It looks good. It's because it's just really impractical to get into an operating window where like it makes sense and it's clean and you're not like struggling and down to 1 life and going up against Urgots and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say Rengar is like back. I would just say Rengar is playable in the right spots, which I think actually defines many comps in the current meta. If you look at like the TFT Academy tier list, there's actually a thread today on Teamfight Tactics, the subreddit, which I think was a really valid question, because I think the player says like I'm hard stuck masters. I don't understand. We're going to creep rounds, so it's not that big of a deal to miss this. 6 hours goes, what do you expect to see pros play in Tacticians Cup? And it obviously caught my attention because they happen to link the best website for Teamfight Tactics right here. Forgot what it was called. But, oh, TFT Academy, that's right. I don't know why. I'm not excited about Tacticians Cup this time. I have no idea what pro players would play except Boombot Flex, but maybe I'm very bad player so I can Masters. I mean, self-awareness is good, but I don't see any good comp to play for first place except for Boombot Flex. Would you please share your opinion? The thing is, a lot of people had this impression that these B-tier comps can't win. When actually, the reality is their win rate is actually going to be really high if you play them from correct spots. And that also applies to C-tier comps as well. People have this impression that like Rengar is here as like the 2nd lowest comp rated on our tier list, but that doesn't mean you can't play it. It just means that the times where you can play it is very narrow. In fact, it's kind of like bleeding over into situational tier. The reason why we have situational tier is that some things literally can't be played without it, though. Ooh. Okay. First time chatter. This set sucks. I mean, we're not talking about that, but I think therapy starts down the hall in 15 minutes. Yeah, I think you're in the wrong room, sir. we're not talking about that right now. I mean, this set's not my favorite, but oh wait, Silvermere Dawn on Braum? Draven? Darius? Yeah, Darius. That's the guy's name. Sometimes when the hat covers the face, I can't tell for some reason, even though I recognize the silhouette. Can you talk about what makes Rengar playable? The correct items and econ and tempo. That's the most generic. That's the quickest answer I can give. You need to basically have a spot where you have melee items that you can tempo into that connects the Street Demon. I would probably say that you have like Graves-like items, except you didn't get Graves items, and you natural like a Rengar too early, or you have Rengar pair, and you also have the econ to like get there. Because the problem with Street Demon is it doesn't naturally lend itself to high tempo early, and it doesn't lend itself to econ. Every other composition that rolls for 3 cost has some form of econ. Or high tempo, one or the other. And Street Demon doesn't... When's the last time you played Rengar and Jinx on your early game board and was like, man, I'm about to 10 streak on this? You can't, right? And again, you hit all this entire board, you still might lose to an Urgot anyways. Artifact is debatable, but yeah, you can play Rengar with Artifact. But again, it's not something that's like that amazing. And there's better Artifact setups. I would say that if you have Silvermere Dawn, that's probably the best Rengar one. But if you have other artifacts, you can justify playing. Like, why not just play Graves? It's cheaper, it's faster, it's higher tempo, it caps higher. But there are certain artifacts that you want on Rengar that you don't want in Graves, like Silvermere Dawn. Jinx is a requirement. I mean, if you want to do well, yeah. He's at 13 HP. You're saying like he's doing well, but if this guy loses one more time, he's 7th. We can talk about Rengar all we want, but the reality is this guy loses one time, he's 7th place, and I think everyone's gonna be a little bit deflated because you're gonna be like, well, I was rooting for the Rengar player. But I think that he is one bad fight away from it looking pretty terrible. Oh! 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 You know, I'm starting to think that projectile speed is one of the more OP stats in TFT that people don't talk about. Why does Bran feel so terrible compared to something like Zeri? Is because projectile speed is like everything. Zeri cleans up fights so quickly and efficiently, and Brand, I mean, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it. It's like actually something that might purely be a stat that like is always going to be hidden in TFT, but it's, oh man. Hit scan is a really big deal. If you like attack and you immediately hit. Hit scan is like you shoot and it immediately hits as opposed to travel time, like accounting for the projectile travel time. Didn't Mort say Brand's projectile speed was become fixed? Yeah, but the thing is, it's still slow. You're correct. Brand's projectile speed is no longer dial-up modem. It is now DSL. Hooray. And meanwhile, you're going up against Zeri, who's on fiber. Ah, well, DSL is consistent time speed, you know? Oh, great. Chat is not old enough to get that reference. Most young people these days don't even watch me in TFT. I started realizing that my audience is pretty much just people who are already in their 30s or mentally are in their 30s. I'm 20? Yeah, but you're it's a good thing. You're emotionally capable of holding conversation with people because you talk to me. You talk to me. Which already means that you're an enlightened individual capable of intellectual discourse. You can form coherent sentences. You can describe frustration with more than 2 swear words.
飞哥也是比他多2滴啊。
也倒了。
Or you want to be.
甜甜，这个照片很可爱。
哦，带我输的更多。
I'm 8. You know what's crazy? You can say I'm 8 and not get banned, but if you say that you're 12, you're perma off Twitch. So that's crazy. You better pray that TFT never adds 4 players to their main game mode. Are you serious? Yeah, because if you're like underage on Twitch, they take it very seriously. So you definitely do not want to tell. You do not. They have like pre-established filters in chat. Your count, they like automatically suspend anybody who says like I'm 12 in chat. So you definitely don't even test it as a joke because it's happened to people before. Like there's people in my chat who's even done that and was like, what the hell? I was like auto banned. I had to like send. You just send like passport proof or something like that to get yourself unbanned. Anyways, I just find that like a funny observation. I think Masayoshi did that as a giveaway keyword and got a lot of people perma-banned. Uh-oh. Yeah. Man, I didn't realize that John hated his chat so much. That's one way to get back at these crazy offline TV parasocial fans. Dude, there's okay, this guy's cooked. I mean, the Graves never got tempo to snowball, but 4th is still good. Hell hath no fury like the offline TV subreddits, man. Those fans are crazy. And they go nuts. Although I think they're starting to age out of their demographic. Like I think they're now moving on to other people. I think a lot of those people are now onto like Jason and Kaide's sister. Can you explain this Graves placement? Yeah, I mean, I don't think Graves is actually that good unless you're super far ahead. You're either super far ahead, you have an artifact, or you're Dehua. You're one of those 3. Okay, Flancy ended up making it top 3 anyways. I said his spot was insane, and then he like lost a couple of fights in the mid game, made me a little bit worried about him, but he ended up getting really good items. My man Flancy. Everyone knows, if you watch me for a while, Flancy's my favorite CM player. I don't know if he's the best CM player, but he's my favorite to watch. Him and 60 Second are my 2 favorites, I think. They make everyone do a crying post when they get knocked out. How do you know that they forced them to? How do you know it wasn't candid? Wait. This juxtaposition between Darius and Shaco is hilarious. Look at how big Darius is compared to Shaco. It'll be like when Preciven lines up next to Soju at EWC. 5'11" versus 6 feet tall. That's right. The Tinder profiles. 5'11" versus 6 feet tall. I like that. I'm still trying to catch the record for the heart rate. I mean, I think some people got the 150. Cypher versus Twisted Fate. I would love to see Twisted Fate compete against some of these cracked boards, but I'm pretty sure Twisted Fate just can't. It's just not a composition that caps high enough. You just don't have enough levers. And also, this guy has his Draven 3, so it makes sense. Galio's Wembenyama. Victor Wembenyama. I saw that he was playing some football in Japan in this offseason. This dude actually did a free kick, and it was like better than what I see a lot of in pro matches. It was kind of nutty. Do you guys see that? It was like basically Wembayama is like on his like age. He's doing his off-season training abroad, like in Asia, and he decided to play like pickup soccer or football. And he did this amazing free kick. I've been actually following a little bit more football ever since I started watching, started reading Ao Ashi. I think this. I'm almost done. I'm on chapter 350 out of like 400. Amazing fiction. Honestly, the story building is like the writing in this show is, or this anime manga is amazing. I don't want to say it in case anyone. I'm not gonna read what part. I've say what part I'm at because I don't want to spoil it for anybody that actually is interested in it. So I started watching some more football because I'm impressionable. When I read something or I watch like a sports series that I'm really interested in, I get more interested in the sport as well. Same thing happened with Haikyuu. I watched a lot of volleyball when that happened. When I was younger and I watched Prince of Tennis, I started following tennis more, things like that. So I was watching USA versus Guatemala. I gotta tell you, man, Wembayama's kick was better than a lot of what I was seeing in that match. Okay, Flancy gets the win here over the Twisted Fate. So it's just Cypher versus Zeri. Mordekaiser 3. I mean, Flancy has a ton of items. And Mord 3. And Cybernetic. It might just come down to the quality of, like, TGs. Football is popular in France, Yeah, and I actually think that it also contributes to why his footwork is good, right? And also, like, anyone who's played football and transitioned to basketball tends to have really good footwork, and I think that's really important. Look at Steve Nash, for example. He played football. He's a massive football fan when he was growing up in Canada. And oh my God, this is Sejuani. Ho ho! That's a big time stun. Big time stun. Flancy, my goat. He's got this. Okay, that was not even close. Sag. Well, I guess Cypher wins then. XiaoQi too? Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I remember reading about that. Anyways, I do think that... what was I saying? I do think that some of these NBA players are so athletic and gifted that like they could also translate those skills to other sports really well, especially if they grew up playing those sports. The Ao Ashi manga is amazing. It ended beautifully. I'm excited to hear that because I'm like 50 chappers away. I'm at the Barcelona game. But I mean, I guess I shouldn't say much more about it. The best football is in Spain. Like, you're talking about the best football to watch? The only thing I would say about Ao Ashi is that I thought that, like, Madrid has a better history, but I'm pretty sure the author is, like, the biggest Barca stan of all time. I thought that, like, I was under the impression, like, again, my football knowledge is really limited, but I thought that Madrid has, like, a better history than Barca, but this guy goes crazy over it. He's like, Barca is like the best football in the world. I'm like, all right. Okay. We didn't get the stun this time with Sejuani. It's about how fast we can take down things like this Galio, but this Galio is just so unbelievably tanky. I'm pretty sure if I were to nerf Cypher, I actually wouldn't nerf Draven 3 and LeBlanc 3. I would actually just nerf Galio 3, just like a touch. If I were to, like, there's no Worlds patch coming, but if I were to, like, tweak with the patch, I would say Galio 3 has to get nerfed a little bit. And I have to say that like Urgot and Boombot get nerfed a little bit. But I don't think the patch really needs much more than that. I mean, there might be like a couple of other small things, like, oh, like this artifact combination might be too powerful in this unit or something like that. Like I might be missing, but Xunge! Dude, you know how mess would it be if they even had Xunge's face mosaic here? Because as you guys know, China has basically blacklisted him because of the account sharing drama. I feel bad for him. Barca has the best prime and Madrid has the biggest team in history. Okay, that makes sense actually. You might enjoy the new arcade football game Rematch. I watched that was where I watched some of Northern Line. I did see some of that. They do, but Barca is one of the best youth development the last 30 years who aligns with the manga's interest. That makes sense. That makes sense. You know what's crazy? Apparently, according to the manga, or according to the fans of the manga, the timeline of when Ao Ashi was being written is actually even more goated because the story of I feel like Should I just spoil it? I mean, is there anybody here that is interested in reading it and don't want spoilers? Because I think talking about it is really interesting. I mean, I won't spoil it if people don't want to. I'm reading it? Okay. But basically, the summary that I can give is that the trends that was happening in football at the time, like this guy is a forerunner. He was like ahead of the curve in seeing how football would develop in real world meta. Like the emphasis on the positions that the main character is playing and things like that, like what he's actually doing was actually developing in real time as well. And so he had the foresight to like understand that was the way football was trending, which is crazy. It would be as if, I'm trying to draw a TFT parallel. It would be as if a TFT fan saw the way TFT was developing and like talked about like what the designs of future sets would be like, and then it actually happened. Although I don't think it worked out like in any way besides just correlation. I don't think that people like looked at it and be like, oh, you know what? This manga is correct. We should be playing like that. I want to read it. Okay, I'm not going to spoil much more than that, but it's great. It's great. Okay, so 2019, 18, 17. So these are the 4 people. If we were to cut right now, these are the 4 people that would go to the final lobby on Sunday. 10-minute break. Holy cow, 10-minute break. Why did they get 9 points for first? To make it more exciting. Aren't you thrilled? Wait a second. Where'd the crowd go? The crowd was filled earlier today. Oh, they're all like going out. Okay, they all left. They went to go get some snacks. Oh man. You're telling me they don't want to watch this thrilling action of game number 4? This is Chi2, longtime competitor. I think he's like the first regionals winner ever in China. And then we have Ahao, the only player to ever win regionals twice. I believe Ahao is actually the most winning player ever in TFT in terms of prize money. And also, he was the guy that got punished for win trading in set 11. Excuse me. 27, we're climbing up there. Hey, we're pretty soon about to eclipse Clash Royale and Wild Rift. And the original Counter-Strike. Oh, just kidding. Title's number 1. Actually, that makes sense. But Aha's number 2, Xunge's number 3, Malala's number 4. Wait, is this right? Disop only 170? No, this is wrong. They don't have set 13 updated. Oh, you know what? I'm starting to think this site is fraudulent. Joseph Goldsmith. Replay. No real name. Someone needs to get on that. A premier title like Teamfight Tactics not accurately represented on esportslearning.com. Do we have anything about set 15? Yeah. Set 15 comes after this set. And I'm out. Hi, buddy. Hey, buddy. Getting ready for nap time? What do you want? Want coffee? Want my can? Here you go. Have my can. But don't drink it. He smells like... Yeah. Alright. You can take the can. It'll keep him entertained. I want to set 15 leaks? Okay, don't tell Riot that I told you this. But set 15 is anime fighting tournament themed. Is there just more money going into China? Yeah. Yeah. TFT is $1 billion game. but that's because I would say that the overwhelming majority, and when I say the overwhelming majority, it wouldn't surprise me if it's like
是的
like the rest of the world combined is multiple times smaller than China's revenue. Probably like if China makes up like 80 to 90% of the revenue, it wouldn't surprise me. It's probably not the case, but I'm pretty sure TFT is $1 billion game, and it's because China spends an exorbitant amount of money on the chibis.
因为维鲁斯应该算是一张不参与过度的卡。
是，除非是你刚好有装备给他，要做那种功能性的装备。
It's the weave set. That's right. That's why I have my voice changer ready to go.
Set 15 is the best set ever.
勇敢续飞这边三魔。
Do you not get the blue hair jeans? No, he didn't this time. I don't mind another filler set. I feel like set 16 will be where they put the money at. I mean, why not both? Real voice? Yes, that's my real voice.
来看第一个海克斯，银色。
That is my real voice. I'm actually using a voice filter to make myself sound very deep and bassy. But when the stream goes off and I let my hair down, okay, it's silver augments. Oh, actually, I missed the opening encounter. I was too busy being all ooh-woo. What's the opening one? Oh, egg armory. Okay. Copy that. Egg armory. It's a weeb set without Mort Dog. That is actually true. But Mort Dog is very not weeb. In fact, I think Mort Dog was in my chat making fun of things that are cringe. It wouldn't surprise me though if the weeb culture makes Mort Dog cringe. He's just not very uwu. He's not very uwu. Maybe he is, but I've never got the impression that he's like that.
What dog song? Nanigaski.
I've seen that guy dance to a song. He definitely got ooh vibes. Oh yeah, maybe I just didn't see the right content. Doesn't his family play Genshin Impact? I think his daughter does actually. You might be right. Okay. Anyways, enough messing around. I need to get back to faking my voice here. Pandora's items. We've seen people play Kog'Maw reroll. He's taking it really slow, but I don't think he's gonna reroll Kog'Maw. Okay, AFK with an early Nitro. Okay, this guy went the opposite direction. He was like 120 on his heart rate. Now he's 76. That's like a resting heart rate so low you could be falling asleep. I don't think it's 76. It might be the Damn. It's 76 and it's not moving up and down. Like I wouldn't say that he's in deep sleep because you have to go lower than that probably, but man, he is chilling. Did anybody watch the CFO T1 series? I saw the result of it, but no, I didn't see it. Mort's wife hates PvP games? That makes sense. My wife dislikes anything that isn't PvP. Or like games that don't end. I don't think that's why she's ever gonna get into the MMO. It's just not her thing. Kingslayer, we have Cypher, support mining. Even when I get a great start, my COG games never go well. I don't think Kog'Maw is very reliable right now. I think the advantage that Kog'Maw had was that the late game drop off was not that significant because 6 Vanguard was so OP. But now with the Vanguard nerf, Kog'Maw was already starting to fall off towards the end of last patch because people realized that there were like the meta in the very beginning of the patch made Vanguard Kog'Maw really OP because people didn't play the right boards. Compositions like Kog'Maw reroll always punish people who aren't playing optimized boards. And so as the patch got more developed on the previous patch, Kog'Maw reroll already started falling off before the Vanguard nerfs. Because people realized like, oh, you can actually just play this like instead of playing these bad boards. And then they nerfed it again. So it's actually funny because I do think the Vanguard nerf was good. But it's like one of those things where like Vanguard Kog'Maw actually didn't really need to get nerfed by the end of the patch because it wasn't really that big of a problem. But I do think 6 Vanguard was too good. Do you know if players will be able to stream their POV at Worlds LAN? No idea. No idea. I don't even know if my Worlds LAN production is going to be good. It literally might be scuffed audio, scuffed observing stuff, and I apologize ahead of time, but I'm not going to say no to go. They gave me the option of doing a remote broadcast in Seattle or doing it live at the LAN, and I chose the LAN, and I hope that that's okay, because if it's really scuffed, I have no control over it, but being there with the players when Disho wins his 3rd World Championship or Setsuko Weixin win their first one, or, you know, Dehua does the unthinkable and becomes a legend amongst all of TFT, right? Being there is like priceless. When EU wins. All right, Persona. After you're done huffing that copium, pass it over to me. Give me some of that good stuff. When EU wins. EU's gonna win. Sending our best lineup to Worlds. Voltairix. Bensack. Les Coco. Alice. Bro has no trust in Sologo Song. I literally ranked Sologo Song like 5th or 6th overall, man. Emily's gonna be on the couch. Yeah, Emily. It'll be me and Emily. We're gonna be doing it on both of our channels. Because Emily doesn't really ever co-stream TFT. She does it like every now and then. But she lives really close to the venue. And so I asked her like, hey, do you just want to like host it with me? And it's really hard to ask Emily, who's a bigger streamer than me, to like, you know, donate her viewership to me purely without any upside. So I was like, you can just like, we can just stream together. So if you watch on Emily's channel, I won't be like offended. If you want to meme with her. I think if you want all the Gooner emotes, you can go to Emily's chat. If you want civilized 1000 challenger LP takes, you know, enlightened TFT discussion, you can hang out on twitch.tv/Frodan. You can have both open. I would actually recommend you have both open, so you get a little mix of like mix and match. Because sometimes different situations calls for different reactions. Emily's bigger than you on Twitch? I think so. I would say that like Emily is like one of the biggest Twitch or TFT streamers in general. I would put her like 5th in North America behind like Soju Box, Setsuko, just Soap. Robin? Somewhere around that? Somewhere in that range? Make sure you put a muffler on her mic. Yeah, we'll turn her gain a little lower. We'll turn her gain a little bit lower. Emily Sparks Pikachu says, I'm an Emily fan. I couldn't tell. Someone took Trait Tracker. Ooh, Trait Tracker in the bottom right. Chug Bug Plus. Probably just takes all that shimmers. All that shimmers is acceptable in Exotech. Especially if you have pulse stabilizer, it does feel like kind of bad because the gold collector executes, and then but you can also just spread it out. You can have like gold collector on one, pulse on the other. Ask her to rap WAP on the co-stream. She's gotten better. Man. Emily Wang rapping. Emily is actually such a tryhard. I know that she practiced off stream probably like a lot. Emily, and it's not a bad thing. I love the fact that people try hard at stuff. I'm a big supporter of that. I'm definitely not like a it's cool to not try type of person. But like I can just tell she like practiced in the mirror. And the funny thing is, Emily actually can sing well, so she also practiced singing intentionally bad. And you know what's actually funny? I actually think it does. If you're a good singer, it also takes practice to learn how to sing bad. The problem is she practices too much on stream. That's exactly what she wants you to think. Just look at how she approached Street Fighter. And that's exactly how she approaches most things when she practiced. That's why she approaches TFT as well. She sweats TFT off stream like very, very hard whenever she can. Hello, does Frodan know Chinese? A little bit. Ni hao. Ni mama. I admire how hard she works to make me feel ashamed. I mean, she does work really hard, it's for sure. It's definitely not hard to sing badly or silly. Then you do it. Fire up the stream and start singing badly. We're all waiting. Are you doing the Chibi challenge with Emily? I don't have my production team. To do the Chibi challenge requires like an element of production. Did I show you guys a video of it? But this is our co-stream setup with my equipment. I can actually just post. Let me see if I can show you guys real quick. Okay. So this is a setup of my co-stream. So these are my producers, Austin and Aiden, and they run like a full-on audio switching setup. And this is our PC, and this is Rainplosion. That's Asa. Or Asa's not here, but this is like where I sit. So you guys are watching the co-stream. This is literally our setup. And so like to run the Chibi challenge requires like an actual full setup. Because it's like a guy operating graphics and everything like that, and helping doing all that. So what I'm gonna get at the World's LAN is literally just a PC and headsets and a webcam. I think I don't get anything else. I don't think I can operate that. It looks so professional. That's actually our non-professional setup. That's actually our non-professional setup because a lot of that equipment is my equipment. Because they used a lot of the equipment that we would borrow from Riot. They use it for MSI. So we actually that's actually considered our low production setup. But I'm glad that you guys think it's cool. I'm not trying to be sassy or anything like that. This guy's saying Gunblade on Graves. I think that's probably fine. I think it's like Quicksilver plus Stairs Gauge, and the last item could be like justified in a lot of different ways. A lot of people say I'm Guardbreaker now. But Gunblade is probably fine. And you can eventually put that on Senna or Philios. He hit a Philios 2 on 6. This is the Worlds patch? Yep, the patch is in the bottom left. You saw that this had AC pumping in, right? The beginning of it. That's not supposed to be here because usually these guys are set up in a different part of the studio. The fact that we all had to be in one room was because it was low production. Trait Tracker. Cashed out. Dynamo, good. Divinicore, fine. And then the other three are not great, so maybe a reform. Oh, his Pandora's. Pandora's trait. I just realized. Oh my god, this guy won the game. Pandora's trait tracker. That is filthy. Unbelievable. 10 Exotech. 10 Exotech. 9 turn egg. He got 2 rapid fires. Wait a second. Hold on a second. Can he go 6 rapid fire, 7 Exotech? Kindred, Zeri, +2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I think he only can get that at 9. At 9 he can, I think. He can't get it on 8. Are there even stats for that? I'm sure there is, but it'd be like 15 games. Like those are the corner case scenarios where if you pull millions and millions of players in games, that you'll find like a dozen. The Beijing accent from the lady commentator is heavy. I mean, that would make sense. I think that this is filmed in Beijing or Shanghai. If you played in Worlds, what do you think you would place? Me? I think my best result would be top 16. It would take sort of a miracle run for me to top 8. It's hard to play 12 games with these guys and consistently place in the top 8. That's a very, very high. You need to have a very high AVP. You need to like average a 2.9. I think you're delusional. I think I'd be delusional to think otherwise. But you know what? It takes a delusional TFT player sometimes to make history. Top 8 is hard, yeah. To make top 8, they cut 75%. You play 32 or 40 players, and you cut 32 of them. Your AVP has to be outrageously high. Like you have to average like a 3 minimum to like get to the top 8. It's hard to do that. Over 12 games. 12 game sample size is not a meaningless sample size. Okay, he got health. Is this health as well? Oh no! Oh, he took a 4 turn egg and he got gold. Okay. Oh wow, that is really pessimistic. But he like to feel like he needs to take it. But I guess he's trying to go for Braum and Elise reroll. Braum Elise reroll. As you guys know, I am not a fan of this comp. I just think that it doesn't do enough. Reinforcement heroic grab bag component buffet. Is EMEA out day 1 in Worlds? No, EMEA is good. EMEA is gonna win this set. Are players allowed to use websites during LAN events? No, they're not. They're not. Oh, Kong Ching Sai, thank you for the 21 months, by the way. Appreciate you. Dude, you're not allowed to like just name another game where you're allowed to alt tab to look at stuff for outside help and references. It's like it's unfathomable. It's like it is the weirdest hill that TFT players die on. It's just weird. That like people like legitimately advocate that that it should be allowed. That's just so weird. Imagine you can do that in chess. Exactly. Yes. Imagine you can do that in chess. It's just so weird to me that's like literally the hill they want to die. Some people like get like really worked up about it. It makes me think that those players are dependent on those things. Because the top players, they don't care. Like Dipsoap says that he would. Dipsoap says it's fine to let other people do it because I don't do that, which I think is a flawed argument. He's like, I don't use it, so whatever. It's not a big deal. Like I don't think that should be the process of which we create policy around is whether or not you care other people do it because you don't do it. But like on LAN, you shouldn't be allowed to do it because it is a significant amount of way to crutch your knowledge with otherwise something you wouldn't know. And people are like, well, that's just knowledge checking. TFT is just a knowledge check. Like there's no skill in like knowing that there's a broken thing. It's like, well then what is the skill? What is the skill in TFT if it's not knowing that certain things are good versus others? Well, you didn't outplay me in chess. You just know more moves and openings than I did. And endgame state. You just know more. It's just not you didn't outplay me. It was actually like it was the worst. Like Bryce, when Bryce did the podcast with me, bless his heart. I love Bryce, and I would start another podcast with him tomorrow if he asked me to. But it was like consistently the worst take that he ever had, which was like you should be allowed to check stats during tournaments, and you can have like stats with you while like competing at LAN. I just like it blew my mind. I could not believe that was like an argument that he stood upon. Are you saying knowing the stats by heart is the biggest skill in TFT? That is a two-head take. If that's the takeaway that people come to based off what I said, that is the least generous asinine conclusion that you can come to. Why did he have that take? Because he said that like he said that in TFT, knowing broken interactions because you played more games, like having stats equalize the playing field so you can make a meaningful evaluation of two decisions. And like if you are rewarded because you have more time to study things and memorize stats, that's not the skill that TFT should be testing for. And I'm like, it just sounds like you want to be rewarded for not putting time in the game. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like the entire crux of the argument is I don't want to be punished because I didn't spend enough time prepping. Bryce is right that memorizing stats doesn't make you a better player. Yes, but that's completely reductive of what the argument actually is. It's part of what makes you a better player, and that's something that shouldn't be you shouldn't be His argument is people who spend time playing TFT are already rewarded for spending their time playing TFT. And so they shouldn't get more of an edge simply because they had more time to memorize stats. And I'm like, and I just don't even understand how that's a take. People who are competing for tournaments who's supposed to ultimately ask how good is your preparation and your momentary game day decision making. We should bridge that gap because you didn't have enough time to invest into the competition. Imagine explaining that to like anything else. Like apply that to literally anything else in life, and just it would fall apart. People would laugh at you for even suggesting that. Sir, you aren't testing my skills in science and math. You're actually just testing my ability to actually memorize things, and I shouldn't be penalized because I didn't put enough time studying for the exam.
对对对，
嗯，
忍者人也可以用。
对。
我其实还是觉得这个2个迅疾转该变一个，对不对？对，你变一个把千珏。
It just like falls apart the more you like try to apply this to other
而且
things.
他的泽力只有1星，就是可能为泽力做了太多事。
It's a ridiculous take.
这个就没办法，这其实我觉得他
哦
的优化空间还是有的。这个野怪的时候该考虑一下这个问题。
Open book exists. It's true. There are like exams that you can have open book tests, but I don't think TFT should be an open book test. I just don't.
这边蛋是出的。
Should every test should be open book test? No. Some can and some can't. But I don't believe TFT should be an open book test.
主要他赢了一波。
There are people who literally have done well who have made final lobby and tournament,
基本追踪。
and they didn't know how to play a comp, and they look up how to play that comp
兽转加兽转。
during the tournament. Should that be allowed? Is that player a high skill player? Should they be rewarded for that type of behavior?
就已经想好鳄鱼的事情了，所以并没有说去优化掉这个迅转。
They don't know how to play the comp. We've had people come onto tournament interviews and said, "Thank you TFT Academy for literally telling," because I didn't know how to play this comp and I heard it was good. So I pulled it up in the middle of the tournament and learned how to play it, and I just followed your guide during the tournament.
可能会被什么奇迹团。
Like, is that something that like we should be rewarding that kind of I guess skill set?
还有转职。
他可以拿。
that's had multiple times. I can actually go back and reference who did that. I mean, it's cool to hear that in an interview. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm listen. If anything, I stand to benefit from this, and I'm advocating against that.
拿个钱。随便敲一下。
But memorizing is not fun. Ryan wants to incentivize creativity, not memory. I mean, that's not really what we're talking about, though. We're talking about, should you be able to reference outside help during TFT? Should you be able to reference outside help?
对对，直接原句话。
Because if so, why not everyone play with a stats engineer? I think if that's the case, then I would advocate that TFT should have stats engineers. You play, and you should be able to be on call with someone. You should be able to talk about it, and you should play TFT with a reference.
其实这边质量还不错了。但其实这种平民版的95就是不行的。
Because to me, that's the same thing.
核心的前排。
You're asking for an outside reference to bridge gaps that you don't know and consult.
来了。
That's taking an extra leap, but to me, it's similar. It is a step further, but I actually think that it's the NFL does it. They have the head coaches and the quarterbacks on comms with each other.
做到吗？其实这里已经很强了。
Rapid fire Renekton.
但是差一点。
This is like arguing Counter-Strike players can look up line for smokes and nades mid-game during majors.
那这样。
Well, yeah, I mean, there's like the now we can pull up dozens of analogies that just sound bad. Sure, card game. There's if you guys play Hearthstone,
这把目前来看的话。
HS Deck Tracker, or sorry, HS Replay.
防守位的勇敢去威和。
There are stats that you can look up for mulligans.
但是这个。
Sorry, what is it? HS Replay.
如果YiWai 没拿下的话，下一把。
You could literally look up decks of your favorite Hearthstone deck, and Bew Paladin's the best deck in the game right now. And you look up mulligans. Should you be able to look up this stat and say like, okay, I'm just gonna mulligan for the highest win rate cards? Where's the skill in memorizing this? There's no skill. I mean, if you guys say yes, you guys disqualify yourself from like ever being taken seriously, like in an argument of whether or not things should be allowed. You're like you're completely unqualified to make any sort of assessment of like whether or not things should be fair or not, because that's just not. It's just not. It's silly.
是的。
都已经几乎完成了超分，达到了25分的高分。
Looking up stats mid-game just hurts. The non-full-time TFT players are in a disadvantage already. I see. I think that is actually a really, you know what? I think that is a really good summary of what everyone's crux is. People feel like they're at a disadvantage and they want to catch up. It's ironic that a lot of these players, it's really ironic that a lot of these players who say that can say with a straight face they also don't like comeback mechanics in TFT. They think it's bullshit. There's a lot of people who say this and say like TFT is ruined by things like comeback mechanics. I don't like rubber banding to help lower skill players come back in the game, and yet with a straight face they can look me in the eye and say something like that. They're rewarded already for having an advantage. Why give them a bigger advantage? I'm a disadvantaged player because I can't play TFT as much. Reward me for playing less of the game. The fucking joke. The more I think about it, the more I'm getting mad. These arguments are just so disingenuous.
这边迅哥镜子给晚了，这波其实差一点点啊，差不多。对。其实如果可库博能 I do think it's reasonable to take that memorization is not something competitive TFT should test. I agree. That's why variance exists. I mean, that part I can get behind. That part I can get behind, but when they start framing it as like TFT people who have full time have like too big of an advantage type thing, it gets something part of me. Then it's like, then don't compete. Don't play in a competition. I don't know how else to say it. You're not gonna succeed, and that's okay. Right? Then compete. You just won't succeed. That's okay. The people that argue this, they want their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to. They're like, I want to be able to win and be rewarded for doing less. You can sign up anyways. You can play anyways. You're just gonna be at you're at a disadvantage. You're at a disadvantage. That's just how that's how it works. It is like mind blowing to me that it's like a hill. Again, that's what I'm saying. Some people want to actually down. I think for example, some people who are bringing up in chat are just playing devil's advocate. That's not what they actually believe. They're trying to just like bring up a reasonable argument. I actually don't think many people have this take for real. They're just like trying to counterpoint. And I understand that counterpoint. I just think it's a ridiculous assertion to be making. That's all. Should TFT be purely about memorization? It's not. Because like we said, stats aren't everything. They're not. There's a lot of variance in the game to put you in spots where memorization doesn't help you. That's where prismatic orbs and random encounters and things like that, they put you off your feet, so you have to use some spontaneous thinking. But the reality is, people will just use stats to try and justify those kinds of situations. The participation trophy mindset. Thank you, DJ3. Agreed. Alright, we're not even really talking about much of what's happening here at the point. I'm just yapping it now. We have Exotech Zeri. Radiant Kraken. So the Radiant item. Wow, he also got the Banshees. Oh, Rapid Fire Renekton 2. Okay, he hit Renekton 2. That's really big. Can you explain to me why in League of Legends the winners create skins for certain champs, but in TFT the champs for each set don't get to create a chibi? Well, I would say that the first is that I can tell you the biggest reasons why is because TFT as a competitive game is not really that celebrated, nor is it like that big of a selling point. So I think from a business perspective, it wouldn't like. I don't think people are out here buying chibis of Lilo and jaywalking. By the way, Rapid Fire Renekton kind of cleaning up. So from a business perspective, will it even do well and matter? Not really. The second thing is that I think they don't want to actually do things based off people anymore, because it turns out that you set yourself up for failure. Because let's say they make a chibi of Soju and then Soju gets himself in trouble somehow, either by the letter, like the court of social opinion, public opinion, or through the actual letter of the law, then that becomes a liability. And then the third reason is that I think there's too many like world winners, to be quite honest. I actually, if there's one thing that I don't like about the way we frame things in TFT competitive is that I think like, yes, we call it worlds, but also it's like, it kind of, I do agree with the notion that it's like weird that we have 3 worlds a year and we like, it like devalues it. I'd rather call it like a major and we have a few majors a year or like slams, right? Like in tennis or I don't know, whatever they call it in golf, like cups and stuff like that. Like that makes much more sense to me as opposed to like winning worlds 3 times a year because worlds has an association that happens once a year. Yeah, a Grand Prix or something like that. I do think that we need to work on some of that nomenclature a little bit. The naming structures that we have. Because I think like we just basically like league players just basically copy TFT. Oh, sorry, TFT just copies league in terms of like how we name things and reference things all the time. And understandably so because we're like a sister game of it, but generally speaking, I just think that it doesn't make much sense. CH just calls it majors. Yeah, exactly. Thank God they removed stats. Playing with stats is like a bunch of students taking an exam with ChatGPT open. Tell him, Casper. Has Casper Wu had a bad take in like 3 months? I don't think so. You know what? We stand Casper Wu around here. This guy became a casual and all of a sudden he just drops nuke after nuke in chat. All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. We're running ads. BRB, bathroom break.
新人选手感觉第4场开始发力了 ，YiWai 选手总共场次96场，历史登顶率14.58，老八率13.54，真的是那种要么奔着大上线走。
其实你如果知道可排的话，你就会发现他要不在上面，要不在下面。
好，来看积分榜吧。李少26分，领跑积分榜。迅哥经过了第3、第4把的连续追分，现在已经达到了第2名的一个位置，25分。小七24分，勇敢区分20分，YiWai 的17分 ，Flancy Dave 的14分，以及 Snowy 的8分。
这里的话，其实 Flancy 和戴武还是有理论可能的。
对。
但是这个理论可能真的就是得理论上要按照顺序去排。 对，
就是很理论的一个情况在里面。是的，但是不到最后一刻嘛，也未可知，你也不知道场上会发生什么样的一个变化。就像我们也没有看到说今天第1把出现的海克斯里面积范中出来了，然后YiWai选手在这么内卷的圆的情况下，自己凭借着直视，然后白攀以及击败之中的联动，然后让自己成功的拿到了北伐，拿到了这么好的成绩，所以。 最后2把也不一定，但是像这种情况里面，选手需要背水，上面的选手很稳，我们都知道，上面的选手可能会选择比较稳定的阵容。那如果需要强势追分的，2位觉得有什么意见给到选手们？
其实你就是得95或者5值，这2个阵容嘛，其实。
All right, I'm back.
或者就是说有这种
要不要会选手
对的，其实
这样。
All right, here we go. Last game, and then whoever top 4s advances to the finals on Sunday.
而且元气化，因为它其实它不光只有7元啊，它有7元，有正元，还有新元，对吧？然后那这些猪妹呢，有的时候会被直视拿，可能会换你，我也偶尔可能会拿。
Worlds would be cool. Like top 8 players of the 3 majors go and play a few games of the 3 sets. Oh wow. Testing full worlds full year mastery. That's really hard to play 3 sets. That would be cool, but I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I think for one thing, the schedule of TFT is too hard to actually match that. Because like if you have someone to play 2 sets at the same time, it's gonna be really hard for them to show mastery of it. It's almost a little bit like the argument against Fearless Draft. One argument against Fearless drafting in League of Legends is like, do you care about somebody's like 20th best champion that they're not very good at?
or do you want to see them play at their best? And so there's definitely like an argument against, because people like want to see mastery as opposed to just like who sucked the least. And I feel like there's going to be a little bit of that. Also, there's also like a portion of like, okay, I didn't play this set. I don't know what the hell is going on. And you basically have to have played the entire year. Do you think they should make Opens the Worlds? No. No. At least not in the current structure. If they would make the Opens a World Championship level tournament, it would have to be something like 2 to 3 weeks long. And they need to allow like a bunch of people to play in it. I don't think they could. They need it can't fit in 3 days, that's for sure. There would be a set master and a world master. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I whatever we do, I do think we need to like Riot actually knows this problem that I described, that the fact that like TFT community keeps calling it worlds, and it's like they're trying to say that it's like not worlds, but everyone calls it anyways. I do think that the part of the reason why, because they haven't come up with a better name. The better name that they call it a tactician's crown. And so everyone just says, nah, we're calling it worlds. They look at this announcement, they're like introducing the tactician's crown. And everyone just blinks twice and say, all right, it's called worlds. But if they introduce something better, like I think everyone would actually embrace it. It's just that I think that in general, I'm not trying to cook anyone in particular, but I would say that the naming conventions that we've chosen for TFT, especially since the merge, has not been ideal. The Tactician's Trials versus the Tactician's Cup versus the Tactician's Crown. I mean, you can already see a failed exercising in branding right on the front page of the subreddit. What do you expect to see pros playing in the Tactician Cup next week? They don't even know the name of your world championship. They call it the Tactician's Cup. That's just a failure of branding right there on the front page. I'm not excited about the Tactician's Cup this time. And there's people in chat saying, I think you mean the Tactician's Crown. FY is Tactician's Crown, not Cup. But like, I don't even think most people knew that. Why don't they just call it Worlds? Were you here earlier, Black Club? I think we went over it for a few minutes, but the brief rundown is that I think it devalues the implication of what that has relative to their own products. League Worlds is associated with once a year. It's like this big tour that kind of covers it. It's a World Championships that's definitive. But that's not the way we approach in TFT. Like, winning one Worlds is good, but it's not like you're the year champion. It doesn't make sense. They should just name, like we talked about, like how Counter-Strike has majors, right? Milk in chat tells it. In tennis, they have slams, Grand Prix. In golf, they have different names for different big events as well. We just need to call it something that's just not Tactician's Crown. That's like, they try to make it Tactician's Crown because it's like very TFTE. They're like, oh, that's, you're a genius because there's a Tactician's Crown in the game, so we can call it the Tactician's Crown. And actually, just by that naming itself, it wouldn't even be that bad if everything else wasn't also falling flat on its face. It seems like an attempt at VCT. Sort of. I mean, I do think that Riot recognizes that TFT has its own unique set of challenges. But I would say that overall, it's not been very successful. Anyways, I'm basically starting to repeat myself, so. I'm trying to be one of those Twitch streamers that doesn't just say everything on repeat for content. I'm turning a new leaf. I'm trying to be an original thinker. I'm down for top 16 in both sets, crowned and playing a 32-member world championship that splits the game into both sets. Except there's 3 sets a year. How is this dive guy? I'm not sure.
Milk, you want to guess what Dive's stats are? His lifetime stats are? They pulled up his stats on stream. They absolutely cooked him. 21% win rate, 40% top 4 rate, $0 career earning. They pulled the profile that said those 3 things. 21% first rate, 40% top 4 rate, career AVP, and then $0 career earnings.
甚至有的时候你不到25都能晋级。
对，就理论可能如果有个人吃了很多的分。
对。
Okay, trial run with another X. This is actually exactly the same setup that Flancy had 2 games ago, where he had Exotech trial run with a chassis. It's crazy that they have career earnings as a stat. For some people, that's how they look at their pro career success, don't they? Especially because China values their own championship so highly. Like for China, winning regionals is basically like a world's title. And the way they see worlds is like the international exhibition afterwards. But for them, winning regionals is like more important. If you win regionals, it's a really big deal. So for them, career earning makes a lot of sense. It's also the way they sell the pro aspiration, right? Wow, this person won 2 million RMB playing TFT. That's crazy. Why can't I do that? I'm Emerald. I'm better than these jabronis. And some of you guys might laugh, but that's literally what some of you guys say in chat. Scar's got good career earnings in TFT, does he? That was the case like 4 years ago. Team fight tactics. Okay, so Team fight tactics have distributed almost $10 million in tournaments. Scara, he's 76 with 25K. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's more than most people, I would say. That's more than Goobums. That's more than Li Tuchuan. Disguised Toast was 17,000. That's not bad. It's more than Pokygom. Oh shit, man. These guys do not make money at all. Rest in peace. Wreckful with 11K. And these are just early day invitationals, though. Josh OG has more money than Soulless. Josh Beaver. Josh OG has won more money than Soulless's entire career. Damn. Holy cow. Josh OG was like a CSGO skin gamba. He basically owned like the TFT Academy of CSGO skin gambling sites or whatever. But the thing is, he pretended like he didn't own it and like pretended that he was like gambling when he was part of the ownership group. So yeah. Isn't the guy who got caught? Yeah, he did. FaZe did that too? Yeah, but like no one cares. Because clout. Honestly, shouldn't we start our own TFT gambling site? Oh, and actually, you know what? Gambling might die because now you can't write off gambling losses. You get taxed on your losses. It's over. We missed our window. It's over. It's over. I heard it's in the league client, gambling. I mean, that's kind of what some of the TFT players are doing now. They're just watching MSI and... Yeah. The page isn't updated. Yeah, I don't think the esports earning is updated. They haven't done the past. I think what they might do is they might update like once a year. But like, cause this one a couple months ago, and they didn't update for set 13. But they did update for title winning set 12. So I just think that they're a few months behind. They'll eventually cycle back into it. What happened to Big BS Bill? I had a hard time doing that because of state taxes. So basically, if you gamble, you can only write off 90% of your losses. So you get taxed on your loss. So let's say you gamble like $1,000, but then you lose $1,000. You still get taxed on 90% of it, so you get taxed on the $100. So if you extrapolate that, because a lot of people gamble high volume, let's say you gamble 100K, and you lose 100K, you get taxed $10,000, but you have no money because you lost that. So it's like, it feels like you have to have a more meaningful edge in gambling now than before, which basically means that people will stop gambling because it's like you're super duper likely to lose now. Not gonna lie, it's kind of woke. Don't gamble. I mean, you know what? He's right. Random Panda with the base take. Honestly, based, right? Stop discouraging people from gambling. I believe a lot of people who are in the poker community says it's gonna kill poker. At least online poker. One of my mutual buddies, Doug Polk, made a video on it saying like, "Is this the end of poker?" Actually, I don't even know how much poker Doug plays these days. I only met him. I met him through Hafu like a while ago, and we haven't really stayed much in touch over the years. But he was like basically saying like poker's cooked. Gambling is so normalized on Twitch. I don't think it should be. It's normalized everywhere, man. It's not just on. I mean, you're right. I don't think it should be normalized so much, but it's everywhere. It's on sports. You can't tune into a single sports game without some kind of sports book being pushed in front of you. And I mean, it's like to the kids, right there. It's just so prevalent everywhere now. So it's like unavoidable. People have been gambling before electricity. I mean, people say that oftentimes, but like I don't find that to be a very compelling argument. We also used to do a lot of things before electricity as well that we shouldn't bring back. Or like be like a vice, you know? I don't think that we should that should be our heuristic. Are you rooting for anyone here? Yeah, I put them in my title. The 3 people that I think are the favorites in this lobby are Flancy. Flancy, second at Set Worlds. My favorite Chinese player to watch. I always think that. I think he just plays really good fundamental TFT. And I just like a fan of like clean, good clean fundamental play. He also has, from time to time, different takes on the meta. But he's just a really smart player. Xunge is a Set 7 world champion. He's one of the favorites as well. I also kind of feel bad for Xunge. He got banned for account sharing. But like, it wasn't really an egregious offense at all. The account sharing incident was the patch got released on North America. He was streaming. So he went to an account rental service to play 6 games of ranked on NA to get the experience. He rented a challenger account and then go back to his own server. And he got banned for boosting, and he got disqualified from regionals. And then now he's like blacklisted from all Chinese invitationals and media appearances and everything like that, even though he's a world champion. Literally, whenever they talk about like, we have all the set world champions here represented, they like mosaic his face from any highlights, and they like don't invite him, and they like literally pretend he doesn't exist. It's actually kind of embarrassing that does actually what's end up happening for his like legacy because of what ended up happening. So I feel bad. I think there's a complete overreaction. It's so unnecessary. And the thing is, everyone account shares, right? So what he did in retaliation, this is probably like not a smart move from him diplomatically, but he reported everyone else. So he's like, okay, well, if I'm banned for account sharing, here are all your other champions who have done this. Here are all the things that people don't know. Like his fans made an account on Twitter saying like TFT Report Center, and they reported everyone. They reported every Worlds player. They reported all the regionals player. They reported previous winners. And they obviously Riot can't ban everyone. It would be the equivalent of Soju and Setsuko and press event #convit they got banned, and it would be the equivalent of Soju fans reported everyone else. They reported everyone else whoever account shared in NA, which by the way is a lot of people. And they try to get them all banned too. And then Riot realizes they can't ban everyone because then the competitive scene would just fall apart. So that's exactly what happened in China. It's only because Riot listens to Beeple the Carrot. That's not true, Milk. You're just spreading misinformation. That might be what looks like to be the case, but that's not true. Also, do you intentionally mispronounce his name? People have corrected you like 15 times. It's almost like if everyone calls you Mike instead of Milk. Why do you think Xunge got banned? Because someone from Korea reported him. Why do you think only Xunge got banned? I already explained why. Fate Tracker. Because they can't ban it. They don't want to ban everybody because they realize that would become a really silly thing to do. And so they only made an example out of him, but they reacted off of someone else who banned him or who reported him. They didn't report. It wasn't because of Beppo. Twitter is not even allowed in China. They would admit to VPNing and breaking their own firewall to go and look at, like, no, Twitter does not matter, man, in China. Okay, here's the trade tracker. Boombosh, Street Demon. Okay, those are not applicable, but Exotech, Marksman, Boozer are good. And if you hit 3, that's actually really good on trade tracker. People have this impression that like trade tracker, like if you are missing 2 emblems or something, it's like a bad one, but this is a really good one. I'm sure Mike is rage baiting. Classic Mike. 3 out of 5 is good. I agree. I'm thoroughly convinced the Chinese firewall exists to protect the rest of the world. I mean, I think it mainly is to censor stuff for the Chinese audience. You know, in China, they're not even allowed to have Bloodthirster be red. It's green because they don't want to have blood. That's the length at which they go. They had to delay the entire release of Diablo with Blizzard in China because of skeletons and things like that. Why aren't you in this? Me? Why am I not playing in China regionals? Because I don't live in China. I live in America. For now, we'll see. Maybe they'll ship me off to Alligator Alcatraz or something, and I'll be one with the alligator soon. You have to be a citizen of China? Yeah, you have to be a resident of China to play in China. Just like in NA, you have to be a resident of NA to play in NA. You can't just be like, well, I'm NA. I'm gonna get my free spot from EUNE. Actually, it's more like the Middle East. I'm gonna TP into the Middle East. You don't need to be in NA to play in NA. Well, that's an exception. That's an exception from the rule. But generally speaking, you need to be a resident of certain places. You're right. Maybe you could play on an account on their servers and hit Challenger and get an invite. If only it was that simple. If only it was that simple. Okay, Zephyring the Ziggs, not the Yumi. It's a Yumi one anyways.
Yeah, I think
这个
um
有可能这个装备
I
要
think that wasn't the case in other games. I think in Hearthstone you could have actually switched regions pretty easily without even having to like live there as well. Like you could like you can be like a temporary resident there and like compete there. But I think you have to like completely declare your region beforehand. But I think there was a lot more parity in Hearthstone.
良心结了
Europe and APAC or Europe and China were like the best regions. Americas was actually the easiest region.
你除非3神装，
But then APAC eventually got really good. I don't know what it is now though.
这个等拉文带的好像有点一般
Screen share? That's crazy. What are you talking about? Screen sharing?
的卡牌还是
I mean, people do screen share in TFT as well.
布隆先三了，
Braum 3. He didn't hit Twisted Fate 3
没
though.
有拆去优化装备了，这边还给到布隆这边
Raves
终
3.
于迅哥2星的皇子，好在是后排的塞纳是3星了。
Is MMR a complete reset at the beginning of the new season? Mostly, yeah. Mostly a complete reset. I don't think they should be. I talked to Riot about this. I actually think that some of their smurfing issues can be solved if they actually allow
这波还
the resets to not be fully. If you hit like GM or above, you should reset to diamond or something. And I think that's fine.
是上九，他的后排还是这个大子，
Personally.
然后一星。
And I said that like there's precedent in other games. It's not like you'd be the only game to ever do this, and it like maintains competitive integrity, and it like makes the game like more fun and approachable for a lot of other people. And they said that it wasn't a bad. The response that I got was that's not a bad idea. Let me see if I can get any traction on that, but I haven't heard that back for a while. What is this screenshot?
这个其实还是就是你连败了之后就是会容错太低啊。这你递到最后一下都没有递到一张螃蟹。
This is day 3, and he doesn't get banned or a warning. What am I looking at? Milk versus Choyina. I mean, what am I looking at? Exotech Braum, Fiddlesticks,
啊，
这你可以缓一波应该。
Skarner 1.
难兄难弟缓一波。
是的，
I mean, he's playing a bad level 8 board, but he's like in the middle of rolling down. He didn't roll fast enough versus Johnny too. I'm not. Are you saying like he's basically playing badly on purpose?
血量让他觉得，其实他就很痛苦了。
他想要吃的话，他只能独享勇敢区位。
对，
他如果独享勇敢区位呢，他又进不了。
勇敢去飞的连胜是。
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm looking at, Milk. It's not entirely obvious to me. Are you saying he's win trading you? Are you self-reporting?
李少和 Flancy 一个人，这2个人其中一个，下面的人都不行啊。
对，
Uh-oh.
因为 YiWai 其实他吃鸡也就只有26分，然后
If that isn't reportable, there's no level of gameplay that's reportable.
现在这个积分上。
All right, guys, you aren't allowed to buy any Skarners on your Exotech rolldown. It's true. You're gonna get reported.
弗莱斯的盖伦给到的第2个改件是一个原改，
I mean, the thing is, he could be, but the thing is, you can't just say that you get banned and reported just because of that,
然后
though.
就是
Like, it doesn't make sense.
差2张，
坐任加
Chalice. I mean, I can if the accusation is this person did this, I find that believable, but I don't think the screenshot is incriminating enough. And if you think it is,
怪
then
这边他好像一波这一波野怪出
I mean,
之后
I think that you're not thinking critically about the situation.
质量大提升的。
对对对，他这个其实有点厉害了。
NA is the easiest. What's the order difficulty you would say for all the region?
这里怎么还多出了一个
Is it true EU is trash? I saw the Mordog clip where they say they don't even play boards and they can easily climb Challenger.
没有海
What are you
妖
talking
的
about? Whoa.
长转
Mordog was shitting on EU?
夜海妖的一个情况。
I don't think so. I think
这个
Mordog
其实勇敢区位
that does not sound right to me.
只是勇敢区位能熬多久啊？这边还真是有说法的。
如果
Also, when I said NA is the easiest, I was saying NA is the easiest in a different game. Because I come from a card game called Hearthstone, and it's a card game based off Warcraft that they made like 10 years ago,
他
and it had a competitive scene that qualified you based off your region of where you resided, and it basically had the same structure as it is for now in TFT, where it had Europe,
Americas, Asia Pacific, and China is actually it's the exact same 4 big regions. And the region of the Americas was considered the weakest in Hearthstone. I saw that clip by Mordog. It's true. Damn. Mordog cooked EU. Holy cow. He says that's the easiest to climb and he could hit Challenger easily. Is it joking? Is he joking? Is it banter? Is it like EU sucks, NA greater than EU, or is it like actual serious? NA is the easiest server in any game. It's not. NA is one of the hardest servers in TFT. Period. In fact, it's like in other games it might be true, but it's not in TFT, and it's also not in Call of Duty, and it's also not in Madden, and it's also not in Rocket League. So checkmate. Do you have stats to back this up? I do. I just don't have it right on me this moment. Syndicate Zeri.
不过因为正好 YiWai 这一波是打迅哥的最强状态嘛，刚补出一个3星的酒桶，对，就哪怕你酒桶跟
Okay, so if this guy loses here,
但是伤害还是很够饱满的。
24 points, he can get caught. Wait, 24, so he gets 3 points is 27. Oh. Oh, and Flancy's dead. Oh, man. My man, Flancy's eliminated. He's not making final lobby. Okay, I think this actually determines most of the final lobby then. It'll be Lishao, Xunge, YGQF, and I think XiaoQi. Flancy's at 18 points. Dive's at 50. Dive had a terrible day at games. 15 points. Ouch. And then YiWai did not do that well either. Snowy had even worse day. He had 8 points. Oh my god. 8 points in 4 games. He averaged a 7. He wasn't joking, but the comment also wasn't malicious. He was playing Warpath and making combat how nobody plays a real board into a 4-1, just goes for loose streak. I say. He said EU does not know how to play stage 2 and 3, so he can play tempo and got top 4 easily. Interesting.
Again.
All right, I'm gonna watch this Mordog clip after this game because this game's almost over.
他其实是有点在两头在摇的。对。然后看哪边先来，然后结果这边8级2张沙弥拉了。
NA has way fewer players than any other big region, so the average level of play is going to be the lowest in NA. Huh? You do realize that NA has like more people getting practice on NA specifically. People smurf on NA the most. China plays on NA. APAC plays on NA. EU plays on NA. You know the inverse also is true of what you just said. Big popular servers might also be easy to climb because there's more people who are bad. And relative to like the distribution of good players versus bad players, like it's easier to gain LP. Why is LP so high on bigger servers? Like if you look at Vietnam, for example, Vietnam generally has higher LP than other servers because of the population size. NA is Disneyland. I mean, that's technically where Disneyland is. That's true. I mean, you see, the thing is, you guys might be trying to say this to like one guy me, but the reality is, you guys just look worse and worse. The people who keep saying like NA is bad, because NA has won 4 out of the past 5 world championships, and you guys just look, or sorry, 4 out of the past 6, and you guys just look really, really, really bad. I like every time you make fun of NA, you just make yourself just look worse. I mean, maybe you're self-loathing like that, but have some dignity. Have some pride in yourselves. NA is a good region. We're the best region in TFT, and it's okay to admit that. Second place is not bad by any means, and you guys should all fight for that. Instead, you guys are just disrespecting yourself. You guys are devaluing all the effort and all the pride that you have.
Stand up for yourself.
迅哥在前面轮次的比赛里面玩了那么多
Doesn't
场
NA get more invites in other regions?
怎么都得把这个阵容练
No, he didn't just say that. We lost slots. We lost slots. We lost slots in the merge, and we still win more than you
对
guys.
现在的是想
They actually nerfed us. They literally nerfed
练一
us.
下什么情况好用
They took away they gave more spots to Latin America and Brazil,
这种阿尔费卡的阵容，
and they took away spots that North America qualify, and we're still winning more than you
2对
guys.
的一个容错。
You know why we don't bring it up? Like, I didn't know that. You know why we don't bring it up? Because we don't want to make you guys feel bad.
处理掉沙
But now I'm starting to feel like we're not making you feel bad enough. That is frankly humiliating.
对，
Like, I feel like now we need to rub it in more. Because, like, it's actually, frankly, quite an embarrassment on a global stage. In a game of variance, where there should be parity, we've proven that there's a massive gap at the international level that you haven't been able to close, despite having more spots than us, despite having more information and guides available for you. Our best players literally show you how to play the game on a daily basis. That's why we're more popular as streamers than you are. And yet you have the audacity to say NA is Disneyland and that NA is free, weakest server.
这两个选手其实也是
Do you have no? I mean, I feel like you're just not paying attention.
很久很久以前一直在打的选手。
I mean, that's okay. There's a lot going on.
这里去锁头了
哦，质量太高了，有点儿。你锁归你锁，但是我后面还有。
I mean, that being said, I feel like I'm just now I'm just dubbing by the other way, but I say a lot of nice things about other regions. I think EU is sending a great line. I actually think EU has a really good chance to win this set. I think EU is great. I actually think on average EU sends better players than we do for the worlds at World Performance. But I feel like disrespecting North America is just like doing yourself a disservice. It makes me not want to cheer for EU.
常规的话其实确实也很难
对，这把也是因为迅哥第一个海克斯能补到金。
And like I think now at this point people recognize APAC is consistently really good because basically they merged into one super region. Because like individually, I don't think I fear Japan. Individually, I don't think I fear Korea. Individually, I don't feel like I fear like Singapore and Thailand and Philippines and Taiwan and even Vietnam to a certain extent. But if you put literally all of the best players there and only a few can qualify to Worlds and you have to like super sweat to make it out, the Tactician's Trials cutoff and some of these things are like, the Tactician's Trials cutoffs are like 1100, 1200 LP. It's like really, really high. Like APAC does not send any slouches. The overall global competition has raised a lot.
先看这边两边能不能再做一做补充。迅哥那边威古斯上是还有一个装备的位置的，或者不给前排狙杀。
Who do you think is the best player going into those worlds? Right now, I put my money. If I were to bet on somebody, not that you should, gambling is cringe. You guys know. We've established. Right now we're in the middle of establishing that gambling is cringe, right? Don't gamble, kids. Anyways, if I would put up my money and bet on somebody, I put my money on Wage and Iverson at the moment. But I do recognize that there's a handful of players who really could like a threat to do well. There's like, and it's TFT, so anything can happen.
对。跟迅哥
What do you mean by individually you don't fear Japan? I think if Japan, like, I don't think Japan
对啊，南枪这个位置会直接被 A 到啊！我在
as a region is that strong. I think Japan has strong players, if that makes sense. I don't think Japan is like a powerhouse region in TFT. But I think Japan has excellent players.
够高。
对。果然还需要一波。
Golden Ox Graves just snowballing. And now Xunge. Dude, they have to acknowledge him now. Do you think they'll do an interview with Xunge? They scrubbed him from the history books. He's about to win the day.
补出了两星
Do you think they'll interview him? Imagine they just say like, "Nah, no interview. You're blacklisted."
这波应该是吃到94了。
They just interviewed the second place guy.
很扎实的质量，
Oh
而
man.
且补出了两星鳄鱼的上限。
Is Wei Jin doing well in scrims? Yeah, he's doing pretty well in scrims. I don't think he like crushed it today, but he's doing pretty well, generally speaking.
感觉现在是勇敢区飞那边整体质量是不太够。
对。
确实也考虑到了很多站位，这个猪妹每一波基本上都能放2个技能晕到主要的后排的 C 位，但是确实面板上来说两边略有差距。
All right. Raze wraps it up. Xunge wins. You know what? Good for him, man. Let's go. TFT fans. They're definitely not here for the chibis. Which one is Daishu? Daishu. Xunge. We have Flancy, YGQF, Lishao. Oh, Lishao. Is that what you're talking about? Lishao is also one of the best CM players as well. All right, so the top 4 is. Actually, do I have like the game post game? All right, because I screenshot this and I post this in my Discord for like the games. If you guys are curious what happened in the games, I try to post them just so people understand. So CN regionals, LC lower LCQ finals. Game 2. Game 3. And this is just for my own reference as well. Game 4. And then Game 5. If you guys want that, you can join the Discord. Okay, so the things that won. Graves. Exotech. Cypher. Xunge won again. Boombot Urgots. I mean, it's pretty not surprising stuff. And then Cypher again. Cypher had a dominant performance today. A lot of one-cost reroll too. Morgana, Gorilla, Kog'Maw, top 4. A lot of reroll actually. 3 reroll comps in the top 4. In fact, this is another set of reroll comps. Kog'Maw. Oh, this is actually Boombot though. Graves and Twist of Fate. Graves again, 3rd place here. Cypher. I mean, I would say, and it looks like a reroll comp win. I would say that reroll wins a decent amount of games. Okay, do they interview him? I just want to know. I don't know if I can understand, but. He's holding a microphone. They're going to interview him.
Hello， 大家好，我是迅哥。Hello， 大家好，我是李少。Hello， 大家好，我是XiaoQi。Hello， 大家好，我是YiWai。好的，
They're just introducing themselves. He said, "Hi, I'm Xunge."
其实，在 AD 组的时候，还是有一些惊心动魄，然后才进入到我们的一个线下对决的嘛。在这段时间做出了怎样的一个调整呢？
Why does it matter if he is crushing it or not in scrims? Isn't the purpose to try and practice different lines? That's part of the purpose of it. And also, I'm not judging it based off of scrims only. But I wouldn't say scrims are like the most important thing, but they're also not 0. It's somewhere. It depends on what you personally value. Okay, someone said watch the Mort Dog clip. Here's the Mort Dog clip.
Thankfully, EU's playing like EU, though, so we'll just get free Warpath. I feel like this Augment is better on this server, because none of them play boards. They don't play boards. I don't get it. See, again, wait. You... Dear EU, do you know that Stage 2 and 3 exist? Sincerely, Mort. P.S. Love your food. This EU meta, man. Pretty annoying. Pretty annoying to face. So more to saying EU is harder than NA. I think EU is playing so poorly that it's turning it into a gambling thing, which is really frustrating. So it's easy to top 4. I can consistently top 4, no problem. It is very difficult to win in EU if everyone's just going, I'm going to open fort and roll the dice. Again, thankfully EU's playing.
Wait, he didn't say anything about getting Challenger though. He didn't say anything about getting challenger. Someone said that like he said that he could get challenger in EU or something like that. But if he says EU's playing poorly, I mean, honestly, I feel like that's how NA plays. What? Like I feel like he was describing NA. NA is like 5 people playing for first every lobby, and it's like you all can't be playing for first. I don't even understand how that happened. So you're telling me that EU is just copying NA now? All right. EMEA opens way more. Are you sure? NA, are you sure, man? NA players are some sick degens. All right. Our scrim's still going on. I guess I could like open that up while we run some ads. Bye-bye. Everyone wave bye to the lovely host and all the players. No, NA is copying EU. Well, I mean, that's what we do. We don't innovate. We copy and we make it better. We are the copycat ninjas.